It's Football Friday night, which means it's the Raw Customs and Line-X of West Bend and the Homestead County Store Friday Night Tailgate Show. Sports Director Tyler Lance will talk to the coaches from West Bend Mallard and North Union about tonight's matchup. Here's Tyler with all the details from inside the locker room.
And we are getting it started here on the Tailgate Show, week one of the football season on Hometown and Home Country Radio. As right now I'm talking with North Union head coach Matt Ernster. Coach, just as you get set here for game number one of the season, what are the final touches in practice this week look like for your team?
It's kind of like fine-tuning some stuff. I feel like we're in a really good position as far as installs with, kind of what we do. You're never fully there in week one, but, I kind of like where we are with what we can install and do in our game plan. And so this week was all about, executing at a high level and staying disciplined in what we do. And so that was the emphasis all week.
And, Coach, you're facing Okoboji tonight, who you were able to defeat 21-20 in Week 1's game last year. What were a couple of takeaways from the last time you matched up with them, and just how do you compare this year's Okoboji team to what you saw last season?
It was a good opening week win for us last year. But, as we went back and watched, the film from it and tried to learn some things about what we did, we realized how really close to the game it was and how we got to be a lot better this year. But, we really looked at we got up early, and then we kind of coasted a little bit. So we've been talking all week about, their offense is kind of a tricky offense to read with their spinner back stuff and what they do there. And, defensively, they're an attacking style defense, and they'll present a lot of problems for us. So it's just about, identifying what we're doing and then making sure we're doing it at a high level consistently all night.
And what are a couple of the key defensive principles you're having your guys focus on as you go up against that spinner back attack? Yeah,
so it's a lot of moving parts, and so we've been talking about trusting eyes and making sure that we've got reads going well, and not getting fooled by what's going on in the backfield, because it's an offense that's completely built on misdirection and trying to deceive where you're going, and so understanding what the concepts are and when guys pull and do stuff where the play is actually going, and so our guys have really taken to that and been really locked in during defensive sessions, and we feel good about where we're at.
And, Coach, on the offensive side for you guys, obviously you've talked a lot about quarterback Carter Morphew. You've got one of the best running backs in Class A as well with Briar Proshniak. So, with that being said, what does an ideal run-pass balance look like for you guys? Maybe not just tonight, but even for the whole season.
Yeah, I think it's just trying to make teams, a little uncomfortable on defense to where, if they want to stack the box, then, we're good enough with Carter and our wide receivers that we can go to the outside game and make that work. And, if we can spread people out and get guys out of the box, then we can, hurt people with the run game. And so, I don't know if it's really a set number as far as percentage, 50-50 pass or 60-40 or whatever, but, we just want to be balanced. We want to be able to mix it up, and we just want to be able to, almost kind of dictate what we want to see, and if not, be able to react positively to what defenses are throwing at us and have, things to go to.
Coach, when you look at tonight's game as a whole, what do you feel is going to be the number one key for a North Union victory?
Well, I think we talked all week about, being disciplined. Usually week one, it's the team that, makes less mental errors. It's the team that turns the ball over less. It's the team that, executes better. And so usually teams that are more disciplined tend to do that. And so that's been kind of the focus all week is, doing our job on offense and defense and trying to limit the amount of miscues. I feel like if we can do that stuff and play a cleaner game in week one than Okoboji does, then we have a good shot.
Well, Coach, good luck in the game, and thanks for the time today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
That is North Union head coach Matt Ernster here on the Tailgate Show. We will take a quick timeout and hear from West Bend Mallard head coach Tyson Wirtz coming up next.
Rock Customs and Line-X in West Bend is committed to becoming your go-to shop for any of your vehicle customization needs. That means offering accessories and services beyond truck bed protection. Whether you're touring the city or tearing up the trail, you need to be confident that your accessories can keep up. They offer durable, top-of-the-line quality products at affordable prices. Follow them on Facebook or call Rock Customs and Line-X in West Bend today at 515-887-2800.
And we are back on the Tailgate Show right now talking with West Bend Mallard head coach Tyson Wirtz. Coach, the long off season is finally in the books, and we've finally arrived at the first game. So just what's the excitement level around your group of guys right now just to get the season kicked off here?
Oh, there's a ton of excitement. We're definitely we've been in kind of the long preseason grind where all you're doing is going up against each other, and so they're definitely ready to square off against somebody else. They've worked really hard all off season, so they're excited to get going. They've got high hopes for the season, as we do as coaches. So we're just ready to get things going, just see how we fare against other teams and kind of get the show on the road for the year.
And, Coach, what do your final preparations look like in practice this week as you get set to kick it off for game number 1?
Just cleaning up a lot of the stuff we work on. We don't have a super complicated system here. We really try to rely on just being disciplined and physical. That's kind of how we want to go out and compete and win games, and just be one of those teams that doesn't rely on one thing. We just kind of rely on general discipline and physical nature across the whole board. So just cleaning up a lot of that stuff, making sure everybody's on the same page, spacing, alignments, footwork, all that stuff is clean.
And, Coach, you guys are getting a test right off the bat here. You have Newell Fonda in this first game, and they, of course, were a quarterfinal team last season. So what do you feel are a couple of factors that's led to some of the success they've had?
They're a perennial powerhouse. I believe they're number 2 in the state in the register poll, so they're definitely going to be a force. But they are every single year, and they kind of are a lot what we try to emulate, that idea of just being disciplined, physical football. It's not super complicated, but they just go out and they do the little things well, and they just don't make mistakes. They win a lot of games just because they don't turn the ball over, they don't have penalties, and so we just try and get to that same level where we're just clean all the time and hopefully compete. So it'll be a huge challenge to start the year, that's for sure. But we look forward to it. We think it'll be a good measuring stick for us, whether we win or lose, just to kind of see if we can compete with one of the best teams in the state right off the bat.
And, Coach, I'm sure week 1 of the season's kind of a feeling out process to a certain extent.
Garrigan Golden Bear pregame show. Interviews with the coaches, the starting lineups, Chemna Auto Center keys to the game, Grassmasters field condition report, Algona Plumbing and Heating's game time temperature, Murphy Realty and Management coaches spotlight, Eyes on Thorington coin toss, TAFE Wellness Center injury report, and more as we preview tonight's matchup. Brought to you by Kossuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare. JDR Seeds of Wesley, Nielsen Trucking, your Algona area Edward Jones representatives, Bruce Keith, Mackenzie Keith, and Brady Ross. Banwart Trucking of Ottoson, Central Financial Group, where you belong, and Lance and Tracy Ludwig, your Channel Seed dealer in Wesley.
Well, good evening. We are live from Conway Field here at Bishop Garrigan High School, and after 10 long months, it is finally football season once again. We could not have a more perfect night for a game here in Algona. Perfect temperatures, mostly clear skies outside, and 2 teams getting set to go here as this marks year number 2 of 8-man football for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. Of course, last year was a year of a lot of trials for Bishop Garrigan. They started the season 3-0, but unfortunately lost quarterback Garrett Hine to a season-ending injury during the 4th game, and they did not win again for the rest of the season. But Hine is back. The whole gang is back. Bishop Garrigan has a much deeper roster this year as well, which you'll hear from Coach Wadley in the pregame show, and they have sky-high expectations heading into year number 2 here of 8-man football at Bishop Garrigan. Meanwhile, they'll face Janesville tonight. Of course, this game was not initially on the schedule. Bishop Garrigan had Rockford on the schedule at the start of the season, but unfortunately for Rockford, they will not field a football program, so it came together here at the last minute, and a playoff team from last season, as Janesville made the playoffs, makes the trip here to Algona, Iowa to face the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. So a key early test here for both teams as we get set for game number 1 between the Golden Bears and the Wildcats. Well, we'll have a lot coming up for you here throughout the pregame show, as mentioned. Of course, we'll take a look at our injury report coming up in just a little bit, the field conditions, the key to the game, and a whole lot more. It is all coming up on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. Right now, we'll step aside for a quick timeout, and when we come back, we'll get both coaches' thoughts on tonight's game.
It's true, many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I agree, and I'd like to help. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Bruce Keith. Together we can give you your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by our office at 100 North Phillips Street. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sadler, Mackenzie Keith, and Brady Ross, we're your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, members SIPC.
What makes the Channel brand different from other seed brands? They believe it's the partnership they build with you. They offer expert advice at every stage to maximize the profitability of every acre. It's their commitment to go above and beyond to help you succeed.
Contact your local Channel Seeds dealer in Wesley, Lance and Tracy Ludwig, at 320-2054.
Channel Seeds. They're committed to your success.
Vanward Trucking of Odison specializes in livestock hauling and flatbed freight hauling. Let them transport your livestock. If it's local hauling or long distance, they will get it there. Contact them at 515-379-2109. Located in Odison, Vanward Trucking, livestock and flatbed freight hauling when and where you need it.
Talking right now with Bishop Garrigan head coach Marty Wadley as we continue here on the pregame show on Home Country Radio KLGZ. With the team having that scrimmage in the books already from last Friday night and getting set for the first game, just what's the excitement level around your group right now?
Well, kids are excited. So it's always a very exciting start to the school year and first week of the season and first game. And it's hopefully we keep some things in check as far as excitement goes, but it's natural for them to be very excited about it, and then we are too as coaches, and kick out the season and kind of see exactly where we're at.
And Coach, as mentioned, you did have that little scrimmage or dress rehearsal last Friday night. So what were a couple of takeaways you came away with out of that?
Well, we went inter squad, so it's a little bit different than going against another opponent. I think we saw some things that we did pretty well at times, and we saw some things that we didn't do very well at times. And I think that's kind of the norm for everybody, and it's a little harder to judge. You try and split the teams up as evenly as we could, and maybe there weren't as many starters as on one side as the other, but we try to keep it balanced, and just basically we want to look for kids, technique-wise and effort-wise and playing hard. Those are the things we want to look for. We can fix something if it's a problem or an assignment or an adjustment like that. We can fix those things, but as far as the kids playing hard and playing all out, and that's what you want to take away from the scrimmage.
And Coach, now that everyone's getting into the school year here, you've got most of the practices wrapped up before the first game. How are you guys attacking this week of practice going into Friday night?
Well, we kept it pretty much like a normal week. We did have normally our Mondays are a very light day with the JV game. We don't have a JV game. Didn't have one this week, so we went ahead and had an extra day of full pads in there on Monday, so that it gave us a little extra day of some work and preparation that normally we wouldn't get on a Monday. But other than that, we kind of kept things pretty balanced and what we want to do, and try and keep our practice schedule to about 2 hours and 5 minutes, and try and get kids in and out and moving, and try and get as much accomplished in that period of time as we can.
And, Coach, your opponent for this game, Janesville, does already have that Week 0 game under their belts. So what have you seen from the Wildcats early this season?
Well, they have a good quarterback that's back. The Eastman kid is the coach's son. He's back from last year. They also have a good sophomore running back. They like to throw it, and they like to run a lot of their offense through their quarterback, which makes sense. I mean, he's their top returning starter coming back, and they're going to run a lot of things that are going to go through him. So, we're going to have to be well aware of his keep and booting out on rollouts, and they do a good job with their scramble drill when the quarterback bails out, and what the receivers are doing off of that. So, we're going to have our work cut out for us for sure. They're a pretty good football team.
And, Coach, like you referenced, Janesville's been a pretty solid team. They went to the playoffs last year. Your other non-district game as well comes against a playoff team of Newell Fonda later this season. So just how important is it to have those tough non-district games to help the team really develop here into the season?
Well, I think, you kind of have to judge where you're at. And obviously, Janesville playing Week 0 probably puts them in a little bit of an advantage. They've got a game under their belt, and we're able to make some mistakes that, that sometimes happen in first games, and this week they'll be, may have corrected some of those things. So, it's going to be a good opponent for us, and I think you're only going to get better if you play better opponents, and we want to play well, and we want to do everything we're capable of doing, and execute well and play hard. Those are the number one things we're looking for on Friday.
All right, Coach, just to wrap up here, what's going to be the last message you give to the guys before the game kicks off?
Well, we just have to tell them that when we go out, we need to play super physical Garrigan football and play the way that we're capable of playing. Play hard, physical, defensively and offensively, and play as hard as you can for 8 seconds, and come back, rest for 40, go out again and drain the tank on every play.
That's Bishop Garrigan head coach Marty Wadley as we take a timeout and bring you more pregame coverage coming up next on Home Country Radio.
What makes the Channel brand different from other seed brands? They believe it's the partnership they build with you. They offer expert advice at every stage to maximize the profitability of every acre. It's their commitment to go above and beyond to help you succeed.
Contact your local Channel Seeds dealer in Wesley, Lance and Tracy Ludwig, at 515-320-2054.
Channel Seeds. They're committed to your success.
Are you looking for a low-risk product with the security of a CD but with a guaranteed higher interest rate? Hi, this is Alex Elbert of Central Financial Group, and we are currently offering American Life multi-year guaranteed annuities with top-tier industry rate. Current 3-year interest rates are 4.25%, with current 5-year rates at 4.42%. To learn more, contact Central Financial Group at 515-295-7748. Guarantees provided by annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. Excess withdrawals made during the withdrawal charge period may result in charges.
From commercial projects to residential jobs, Nielsen Trucking has what it takes to help your project succeed. They have a fleet of trucks hauling and selling aggregate and numerous agriculture feed products. Their drivers work hard to deliver exceptional service to their customers every time. Nielsen Trucking is a proud supporter of this radio broadcast and wishes our area athletes the best of luck this season. Nielsen Trucking, just east of Algona on McGregor Road. Your project is their priority.
Right now, talking with head coach Dale Eastman from Janesville as we get set for kickoff in tonight's game. You guys obviously had a Week 0 game. You picked up that 56-0 win. Can you just give us a quick overview of that game and why you thought it went so well for your team?
Well, it was nice to get out there. There was a chance earlier in the week that we may end up losing that game because of all these other schools here on the eastern half of the state dropping football, and so weeks were opening up for different teams, and so now we were trying to maybe move that game to Week 4, but we'd started practice right away coming back after the dead week, and so we had some boys that were ready to go out there and just be able to hit somebody other than their teammates and their friends, so it was a great opportunity for us Friday night. We were able to get out there, play against some different competition, and be able to evaluate some film. It was good in the fact that got some kids out there, some sophomores that are going to have to we're going to rely heavily on. So got some preseason jitters out of the way a little bit, and hopefully we can play a little bit better tonight against Bishop.
Coach, in that win, you had Dane Appleby going for 170 yards on the ground, and he looks like one of the players who's probably primed for a breakout season here. So can you just give us a little view into what his off-season work has looked like and what your expectations for him this season are?
Dean's done a fabulous job as far as being in the weight room every single day that it's open. He gets in there. He's in there at 6 a.m. working hard to make himself better. He's a four-sport athlete, plays football, plays basketball, runs track, plays baseball. Plus trying to be a 16-year-old kid. So a lot on his plate. He's the second of 3 boys, so there's some athleticism in the family, and looking for big things out of him. Even though he is a sophomore, he's got a very good football head on his shoulders and knows what it's going to take. So, he knows also that it's going to require the offensive line to block for him to have a big year and those kind of things. But, yeah, huge game for him, stepping up. He did get a little bit of time last year as a freshman, so we're expecting big things out of him this fall.
And, Coach, you were able to force 5 turnovers on the defensive side in that game as well. So what was the key to that, and how do you force turnovers against Bishop Garrigan in this one?
Well, it's difficult in the fact that Bishop hasn't played, so we haven't watched, film from this year. We're just watching film from last season. They started out really well when Garrett was at quarterback 3-0, and then he breaks his collarbone, and he's out for the season, and then they lose 6 in a row. Some of that has to do with competition. Some of it has to do with your senior or your junior quarterback at the time being gone. So, I think they're a different club when Garrett's running the offense for him. I think he ran for like 300 yards those first 3 games last year, passed for a little over 200. So he had good numbers in those first 3 games. So definitely working on some things to get us prepared for this week. Like I said, you graduate. They graduated 3 guys, maybe 4 guys from last year's team, so they've got a few more seniors that are ready to step up. And I guarantee you that Bishop Garrigan do things over there. And so we're looking for a nice, good football game here tonight.
And, Coach, as you referenced, Bishop Garrigan has a quarterback who can run the ball with Garrett Hine. They've got a couple solid running backs they can lean on as well. How do you make sure you guys are ready to win that physical battle up front to try to stop the run game?
Well, that's exactly it. It's going to be physical, and Garrigan's going to be a lot bigger than us. Offensive line, they're going to be big. I'm going to guess that all three guys are going to be over that 220 plus, and then you have Nemers kid who's really a man out there compared to some of our guys. We might have a kid that's 6'6", but he doesn't weigh 275 plus. So it's going to be physical in the trenches, and we're just going to have to do our job of staying on blocks, staying in guys' way, so hopefully the running backs can sneak through and get to that second level. And then on defense, we have to be physical. We have to get 8 hats flying to the football because they do have really good running backs. Names aren't my thing. I know that number 9 and number 20 are going to be good ball carriers for them, and looking forward to a good battle of football.
Coach, to wrap it up here, what's going to be the final message you tell to your guys before the game gets kicked off?
Going into this season, we knew we were going to be young and inexperienced at a lot of positions. We only have 7 combined juniors and seniors, so that makes it kind of tough sometimes when you're counting on those sophomores. But Garrigan has huge tradition, whether it was Class A or not. It's still tradition, and Garrigan reached out to us. Why? Because they feel that we're a worthy opponent. I feel like, that Coach reached out to us because they wanted a good football game. We need to go out there and give them a good football game. And nobody's expecting us to win. Nobody expects us to finish well. We're picked 4th in the district. So we can go out there, we can compete, play hard, maybe open some people's eyes. And, when it comes down to it late in the 4th quarter, give yourself a chance to win. And if we're battling it there late in minutes 40 through 48 and giving ourselves an opportunity to win, I'm not a big rah-rah guy like winning, small victories or stuff like that. I like W's and I accept losses, but, let's give ourselves to get out there and get an opportunity for a win.
That was Coach Dale Eastman from Janesville High School as we take a timeout and bring you more pregame coverage coming up next on Home Country Radio.
Is your student athlete on the injured list? This is Shane Meschke, one of the physical therapists at Kossuth Regional Health Center. Our medical team is ready to help get your athlete back in the game. KRHC offers concussion testing, therapy and rehab services, family medicine, 24-hour emergency care, x-ray services, and more. Our staff works closely with local healthcare providers and specialists throughout the area for a recovery plan that works for you. Best of luck to all our area athletes this season. We'll be cheering for you.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy at Edward Jones is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Bruce Keith, and I'm here to help. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for what life throws at you. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sadler, Mackenzie Keith, and Brady Ross, we're your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, members SIPC.
At Wiffles Hybrids, they're completely focused on developing and producing the very best seed corn on the planet. A snack they've been polishing for more than 70 years, right here in the heart of the Corn Belt. Wiffles Hybrid, one thing done right. For more information, contact Rich Rosenmeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit wiffles.com.
Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do?
Tyler Lance back for you here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, as your pregame show continues. Leading up to game number 1 of the season, it's the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and the Janesville Wildcats. Well, it is time for us to take a look at the injury report brought to you by TAFE Wellness Center. And, of course, in game number 1 of the season, the injury report is going to be pretty sparse, thankfully. Bishop Garrigan does not have any injuries to report of. Everyone on the roster is available to go here tonight, so that is always a good sign for Bishop Garrigan coming into the season healthy, and hopefully they can keep it that that way as the year goes on. On the Janesville side of things, they do have one player who's going to be out with an injury tonight, and that is number 11, Garrigan, the senior, and that is going to be a big loss for Janesville. Garrigan had 6 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown in game number 1 of the season for the Wildcats last week. So Garrigan will not play here tonight. Besides that, everyone else is healthy and available for the Janesville Wildcats. That is a look at your injury report brought to you by the TAFE Wellness Center. And again, hopefully that injury report stays very small for both sides throughout the whole course of the season. With the injury report wrapped up, we'll take a look at the 2 starting lineups for tonight. First for the visiting Janesville Wildcats, coming off that Week 0 win, 56-0 over GMG in game number 1 of the season. The Wildcats lining things up on offense with the guard Noah Mahler, senior Jamin Reeves, and guard Cole Hahn. The tight end on the Wildcat offense is Gabe Meany. Quarterback is Keegan Eastman. Wide receiver Trevor Forey. They'll have running back Dane Appleby in the backfield, and then the other wide receiver is going to be Peyton Trees. Defensively for the Wildcats, they'll line things up front with Jack Lindemann at the defensive end spot. Cole Hahn is the nose guard, while Gabe Meany will be the other defensive end. Linebackers are Dane Appleby and Jamin Reeves, as well as Peyton Trees, and then the defensive backs are going to be Trevor Forey and Keegan Eastman. So that's the starting lineup for the Janesville Wildcats. Meanwhile, for the home team, the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, they'll start things up front on the offensive side of things with Drew Casey at the guard position, Nate Bronk at center, and then Logan Nemers is going to be the other guard. At tight end, it's Aiden Hovey. Garrett Hine, the quarterback, returns underneath center heading into his senior year. Jack Ranjanette, another senior, is going to be at the wide receiver position. Cal Berkey, the running back, another senior. And then Caden Roffler, the junior, at the fullback spot. Defensively for the Golden Bears, they'll line up front with Caleb Borman at defensive end. Drew Fogarty will be at the opposite defensive end position, while the nose tackle is going to be Nate Bronk. Linebackers starting for tonight are Garrett Hine and Caden Roffler. And then in the secondary, it'll be Trayton Sink and Sam Plaff at the cornerback spots, and Cal Berkey, the safety, tonight for Bishop Garrigan. That is a look at your injury report as well as the starting lineups as we continue on with the pregame show here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. You've met the players, but now it's time to meet the coaching staff for your Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, brought to you by Murphy Realty and Management. Bishop Garrigan's head coach is Marty Wadley. Assistants are Chad Hall, Dan Buscherfeld, Brian Patterson, Grant Buscherfeld, Mick Elbert, and Tim Berkey. And that's a look at your Bishop Garrigan Golden Bear coaching staff, brought to you by Murphy Realty and Management. More pregame coverage is coming up next.
Safe and affordable housing. Those are words we like to hear. And Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides just that. With properties in Algona and several surrounding counties, Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides safe and affordable apartments at a time when everyone could really use it. They pride themselves as a local entity that aims to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Give them a call at 515-295-2927 or stop in their office located at 208 East State Street in Algona. This institution is an equal housing opportunity provider.
TAFE Wellness Center, now serving you with 2 locations, Algona and Armstrong. Dr. Shane TAFE will keep our area athletes in the game with chiropractic care. To find out more about them, visit their Facebook page or request an appointment at TAFEWellnessCenter.com. Reach out to TAFE Wellness Center in Algona or Armstrong today and take charge of your health.
Market declines, unemployment, the COVID-19 pandemic. Today's headlines can be scary. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Brady Ross. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to prepare for the long term. We provide the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Contact me, Brady Ross, at 515-295-7763. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sadler, and Mackenzie Keith, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
And we are back here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, with the pregame continuing on. Bishop Garrigan and Janesville coming up in just under 15 minutes. I'm Tyler Lance. My partner's Beanie Bodie. Partner, it's football time. How's it going
Football
tonight?
time. It's going great. Beautiful weather. Fall is approaching. Not quite yet, though. Nice summery evening tonight. And field looks great, Tyler. Boy, I just can't believe it. Weren't we just talking baseball a couple weeks ago? Bishop Garrigan baseball, and now it's Bishop Garrigan football.
No doubt about it. Field's looking great. We'll have more details on that coming up in the Grassmasters Field Condition Report. But first, we've got the Chemna Auto Center Keys to the Game, as this is a look at the Keys to the Game brought to you by Chemna GM Center in Algona. And Beanie, I'll tell you what, I think Bishop Garrigan's got to play bully ball tonight. Talking of Coach Eastman from Janesville, he said Bishop Garrigan has the size advantage. We need to be aware of that. And boy, if you look at the Golden Bears up front, you've got Logan Nemmers at 320, Nate Bronx listed at 245, Drew Casey at 235. Coach Wadley's going to want to be physical. He's going to want to pound the ball, so Bishop Garrigan will have to bully Janesville physically tonight to be successful.
Boy, you said the word twice there, Tyler. Physical is the word of the week. I've enjoyed all your coaches' interviews all week, getting ready for the season, and every single coach that you've talked to this week has said that word. They want their team to be physical. And let's just get past the semantics. That means they want their team to hit the other team really hard as fast as they can. And you're exactly right. All the coaches want their teams to be physical, and that is the key to the game. But most of these small school teams, they don't like to be too physical in practice because they're very concerned about losing people to injury. So both Janesville and Bishop Garrigan have been very careful in these practices leading up to the first game. And when it hits when the kick goes off, some of those kids are going to be hitting at full speed for the first time. And then we'll find out who really is going to do what their coaches say and be physical. Because you can have all the poundage in the world, but if you're not physical with it, as they say, it's not going to do anything on the football field.
No doubt about it. And then on the Janesville side of things, I think for them, it's going to be about avoiding turnovers. They did have a couple turnovers last week. It didn't stop them. They still won 56-0. But against Bishop Garrigan, any opponent is going to want to make Bishop Garrigan drive the whole length of the field, especially the Golden Bears not necessarily being a big play offense most of the time, but one that pounds the ball down the field, play after play, long drives. So the last thing Janesville is going to want to do tonight is give Bishop Garrigan a short field to work with.
Right. Both teams are going to want to control the ball, and Bishop Garrigan is going to want to run that football. They're not going to try to get anything creative. I mean, at this point in the season, most small school, every team has about 5 plays that they know and feel like they can run tonight. So it's not going to be anything too creative, and you don't want to give a team like that a short field and give them any freebies, and that goes both ways. Of course, Janesville having that game last week, they've got a game experience under their belt, and Bishop Garrigan doesn't have that, and that's going back to that game speed experience that is different. You watch the kids practice, and every play looks like a touchdown, and that's because everyone knows the plays. Tonight, it's not going to be so easy, and that'll be a great, great test for Garrigan. What a great opening matchup. I think both these schools are really thankful they're going to play this game, as it wasn't originally on the schedule, which you were talking about earlier, and I think both teams are very pleased to be opening this season on a beautiful day here.
It's a beautiful day here in Algona, Iowa for Bishop Garrigan against Janesville football. We'll take another timeout as this has been a look at your Chemna Auto Center Keys to the Game. More pregame coverage coming up next on Home Country Radio.
From commercial projects to residential jobs, Nielsen Trucking has what it takes to help your project succeed. They have a fleet of trucks hauling and selling aggregate and numerous agriculture feed products. Their drivers work hard to deliver exceptional service to their customers every time. Nielsen Trucking is a proud supporter of this radio broadcast and wishes our area athletes the best of luck this season. Nielsen Trucking, just east of Algona on McGregor Road. Your project is their priority.
Let Wiffles Hybrids from JDR Seed help you find the cure for the common corn yield by matching you with the hybrids that can increase your whole farm yield. Now is the time to buy to get serious savings on serious seed for next spring. See the results for yourself. Contact Rich Rosemeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit Wiffles.com. Wiffles Hybrids and JDR Seed, together we bring the yield.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, financial advisor, Mackenzie Keith, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Contact me, Mackenzie Keith, at 515-395-4021. Along with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sadler, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
And we are just under 10 minutes away from kickoff here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream. Big thank you to everyone tuning in wherever you are here tonight as we have Bishop Garrigan against Janesville coming up. And, of course, a big part of any game is the field conditions, which is why we have your Grassmasters Field Condition Report, as Grassmasters is your area's premier lawn care and tree care provider. But I'll tell you what, Beanie, field's looking great. We've had a little bit of rain here, just enough to keep the field green, but not enough where it's saturated, obviously. Game number one's the best condition the field will be in at any point, so it is looking great tonight.
It is looking fantastic out there. The irrigation has been worked on all summer. I've seen Todd Herbst-Ulmer and Drew Severson out there working on the irrigation, making sure that's been running. The Grassmasters team and everybody that works on this field, whoever it is, good job. It looks fantastic. And also with this 8-man game, the field is a little bit narrower, which gives a lot of sideline. So you shouldn't have any sideline infractions on either of these teams because they have a country mile to stand on the sidelines. But it looks beautiful down there. You got that right, Tyler. I know the team practiced on the field last night. Other than that, everyone's been off the field since the track season last spring. So other than running to get some foul balls from the baseball season, this field has been kept pristine.
No doubt about it. The field is looking great. It is looking pristine. And, boy, it couldn't be a better night for the game here. We've got hardly a cloud in the sky. Again, barely a breeze at all. A lot of times in this time of the season, you're sweating. You're losing a couple of pounds in the broadcast booth because it's so warm, and the players are getting all kinds of cramps on the field of how warm it is. But just with the great field conditions, with the nice weather we're having, this should be a perfect night for football.
Absolutely. But, you brought up another key, Tyler. Cramps. That has been an Achilles heel for Garrigan at the beginning of the season here in these hot games. I forgot about that one, but you say the word cramps. That is an issue. Fortunately, Garrigan has some depth. One of those running backs gets a cramp and has to come out for a little while. There's another running back in the depth chart that can go in and take that place.
So there you go. That is your Grassmasters Field Condition Report right here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. We'll take another timeout, and we will continue on with the pregame show here coming up in just a couple minutes as we get set for Bishop Garrigan and Janesville.
At Grassmasters, we believe the secret to a successful season is hard work and dedication, the same qualities that make up a winning team. Preparation, perseverance, and teamwork have enabled us to rise above the competition and bring you a championship team. So as this year kicks off, we at Grassmasters would like to wish all of the local athletes the very best and a successful season on and off the field. Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
At Kemna Auto Center, they understand you have no shortage of your car. They're your hometown dealer for GM, Ford, and Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Dodge. They also offer an extensive selection of pre-owned vehicles and finance team, along with world-class service technicians that are passionate about keeping your ride in top shape. Visit their showrooms today.
Kemna Auto Center, an experience you deserve.
Are you looking for a low-risk product with the security of a CD but with a guaranteed higher interest rate? Hi, this is Alex Elbert with Central Financial Group, and we are currently offering American Life multi-year guaranteed annuities with top-tier industry rate. Current 3-year interest rates are 4.25%, with current 5-year rates at 4.42%. To learn more, contact Central Financial Group at 515-295-7748. Guarantees provided by annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. Excess withdrawals made during the withdrawal charge period may result in charges.
Vanward Trucking of Odison specializes in livestock hauling and flatbed freight hauling. Let them transport your livestock. If it's local hauling or long distance, they will get it there. Contact them at 515-379-2109. Located in Odison, Vanward Trucking, livestock and flatbed freight hauling when and where you need it.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Brady Ross, and I'm here to help. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Contact me, Brady Ross, at 515-295-7763. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sadler, and Mackenzie Keith, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Is your student athlete on the injured list? We can help. This is Wendy Wagner, Physical Therapy Assistant at Kasuth Regional Health Center. As a former student athlete and coach, I want to help you get back in the game feeling healthy and injury-free. Our staff works closely with local healthcare providers and specialists throughout the area for a recovery plan that works for you. Best of luck to all our area athletes this season. We will be cheering for you.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare.
Life is a series of moments. Big moments, small moments, moments you want to bottle up so they can last forever. At Edward Jones, we want you to make the most of all of them. Whether you're planning for the trip of a lifetime, retirement, or just need some everyday advice along the way. That's why an Edward Jones financial advisor, like me, works with you to build personalized strategies for today and tomorrow. Life is for living. Let's partner through all of it. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor, Mackenzie Keith. Call me at 515-395-4021. Along with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sadler, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones.
Living in Iowa sure means we rely on our furnaces and air conditioners to keep us comfortable all year round. And that's why Algona Plumbing and Heating is proud to be your local trusted Armstrong dealer. They're committed to bringing you the highest quality products in heating and cooling, and it doesn't get any better than Armstrong furnaces and air conditioners. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, give them a call at 295-5240 or stop by their Dodge Street location. Live comfortably with Algona Plumbing and Heating.
At Eyes on Thornton, we are proud to cheer on our local teams. Let us clear things up so you don't miss a key play on or off the field. The staff at Eyes on Thornton strive to give you outstanding service for all your eye care needs. Come see the difference at Eyes on Thornton.
We are moments away from kicking off the football season here at Bishop Garrigan High School. Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie as it's time for your Algona Plumbing and Heating game time temperature. As the game time temperature here tonight at kickoff is 78 degrees. That is your game time temperature brought to you by Algona Plumbing and Heating, your Armstrong Air dealer in Algona. Now the players are at midfield right now. They are getting set for the coin toss, as the coin toss is brought to you by Eyes on Thornton. Players will converge there and shake hands at midfield, and we'll see who decides to receive and who decides to defer here.
Janesville is going to receive the football. I believe they won the toss and chose to take the football to start this game.
There you go. That's a good catch, partner. I'm so busy pushing all these buttons, but
hey,
I knew you had my back.
You've got a virtual space shuttle of buttons over there to press to keep this broadcast going, and we do have the live stream going. I'm running the camera. Tyler's running the space shuttle, and we are going to get you this Friday night football game, the first one. Everything is shiny and new. All the helmets are shining bright. A lot of new helmets purchased on the off season. Keep all these craniums safe. A lot of money raised and a lot of expensive helmets purchased. And those uniforms are looking sharp. Both these teams seem to emulate those Hawkeyes. We've got black and gold for Bishop Garrigan, and the Janesville team looks like the white jerseys of the Hawkeyes, carbon copy.
Yeah, Janesville, it's pretty much Hawkeyes down low, and then it's Kansas State Wildcats up top. Obviously, the helmets aren't Hawkeye colors, but they've got that very famous logo that the Kansas State Wildcats use as their Wildcat logo.
And they got that Pittsburgh Steelers stripe on their shoulder pads, Janesville
Oh, you had to say that.
I'm sorry, Tyler, but the Browns are not going to win this year either. It's too early to bring that up. I'm sorry.
Well, we can debate that, but not tonight because it's time for Bishop Garrigan football. Here comes Logan Nemers running up to the ball, and he kicks it end over end down the middle of the field, and we are underway. It's fielded at the 5-yard line by Trees. Spins to the outside 20, 25, 30. He's down the sideline, then there he goes to the 40, 35, 30, and he's down inside the 30-yard line after a great return. Peyton Trees jump starts Janesville here on the first kickoff.
Jump start indeed. I think right there you see the case of Janesville having a game under their belt. The Bishop Garrigan kickoff team just was not ready for the speed that play took place at, and also the contact. It's a lot different, but here they go. They're going to have a short field to defend, but the Bishop Garrigan defense under the direction of Brian Patterson this year, assisted by Chad Hall, gets ready to go.
So it'll be Keegan Eastman, the quarterback. He's in the pistol. Eastman takes a snap and looking to throw on first down. Rolls to his left, looking. Now he's rolling back to his right. He'll throw over the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. Eastman was looking for Trevor Forey that time as he kept the play alive, but threw it just a little bit outside his receiver.
Good coverage there by Trayton Sink, covering that play out there in the flat. A dangerous cross-field pass for the first play of the game. He scrambled and threw it across his body, a big no-no for quarterbacks in high school. but you see that a lot on TV, and he thought he could make that pass. That pass is going to get intercepted more often than not. A good coverage there by Trayton Sink in the backfield. He's playing a cornerback position on the near side.
Trees split out to the left, Forey to the right. In the pistol again, it's the senior Eastman. Takes the snap and runs right. Pressured by Hine. Throws over the middle, and it's off the fingertips of Forey and incomplete, setting up 3rd down and 10.
This Bishop Garrigan team has some depth that they haven't always had in the past, and, of course, we hope everyone stays healthy. So there are some people out there battling for positions on the line. I know the coaches hope to get as many people playing one way, but we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, there are a lot of people in Coach Wadley's starting lineup who started 2 ways last year but are only starting 1 way this season. As Eastman comes out under center, he'll hand it off to Appleby. Appleby bouncing it outside. He's barreling his way to the 25, down to about the 23, and that'll set up 4th down and about 3 yards to go for Janesville.
Well, that was a great read by Appleby. He realized the big beef up front for Bishop Garrigan was taking away his initial hole, and he bounced it outside and was able to get some yardage. But good tackle by Trayton Sink from the cornerback position. I know Trayton has played a lot of linebacker, some at the varsity level last year, and so he's got some tackling skills out there at the cornerback position.
So 4th down. It's 2 yards to go from the 21-yard line. Underneath center is Eastman. Eastman with an awkward-looking play, trying to sneak it for the middle. He has stood up, and he's not going anywhere. Bishop Garrigan with a big 4th down stop. That play looked awkward from the start for Janesville. Almost looked like one of their offensive linemen false started. They let them play, and Eastman gets stuffed.
Yeah, great stop by Bishop Garrigan. Get that ball back. You know, one of the fun things about 8-man football, there's not a lot of punting in this game. You go for it more often than not in this shorter 8-man field. Makes for a lot of exciting 4th down stops, and Bishop Garrigan comes up with them there as here comes the offense.
So the Bishop Garrigan offense, led by the return of quarterback Garrett Hine, had that season-ending collarbone injury last year, but Golden Bears were undefeated at the start of the year of Hine playing. He'll keep it on 1st down. That was that midline read there as he barrels forward for about 2 yards and sets up 2nd down and 8.
He fakes it to Caden Rothler. And, well, I guess it's not a true fake because in that play, if Garrett wants to, he can give the ball to the fullback, Caden Rothler. That time he pulls it out and just goes to the next hole over. But the defense-wise, they tackle Caden whether he has the ball or not. So that's the thing. You're Caden Rothler and you're playing that position for the Bears. You get tackled every single play, whether you're carrying the football or not.
Now it'll be Hine in the gun. He's got Rothler on his right hip, 2 men to the left. Berkey's in motion, and he'll take it on the sweep. Berkey heading outside, and he's diving forward.
The 1st down out of nothing. That's the senior running back that they're looking big to, getting in the ball in the 2nd play of the game. Boy, I'm sure they're getting all kinds of ideas of how they can use Cal this year, but I think tonight we'll see him use pretty basic, like that sweep play right there.
This time 2 running backs are right behind Garrett Hine. Hine will fake the handoff and he'll keep it. He's rolling left. First pass of the game. His foot slips on the grass, and now he'll try to run it. He's out of the tackle, and he crosses the 40. He's to the 35, heading to the sideline, 30, and he's finally brought down at the 27-yard line. Garrett Hine keeping the play alive and moves the sticks for Bishop Garrigan.
Wow, what a great versatility in that quarterback there. He was looking deep. He was looking to throw the ball deep to Justin Bauer, but when he went to plant that foot, his back foot slipped, and so he thought, oh, I can't throw deep, and he's able to just take off running.
And Gabe Meany, the sophomore defensive end for Janesville, is going to limp off the field here. He was right in on Hine, but he may have slipped on the grass a little bit as well, and he will head to the sideline, so Janesville will be about their starting defensive end for at least a play, as Hine takes the snap on 1st and 10, gives to Berkey, and he's heading left. He has some space. He's out of a tackle. Berkey with a great move. He's to the 5. He's into the end zone with a touchdown. Cal Berkey gives Bishop Garrigan the early 6-0 lead.
Oh, such quickness by Cal there laterally. He just bounced it right outside and off to the races. Puts the first score on the board. That's what you like to see if you're a Bishop Garrigan fan. Score often is the name of the game in 8-man football.
Definitely the opportunity for some big plays as they'll set up the ball here for the 2-point conversion. 9:33 on the clock right now. Bishop Garrigan 6, Janesville nothing on the Cal Berkey touchdown run. Boy, Golden Bears got 10-plus yards there on 3 plays in a row, some big chunk plays, as Hine will have an empty backfield. Hovey, the tight end, on the left side of the line. 3 players split out to the right. Hine rolling right, he's looking, getting towards the boundary, flips it into the end zone, and it is over the head of Grand Jeanette, who was open, but Hine couldn't quite get it to him, as that'll keep the score 6-0, as we take a quick timeout and come back with the kickoff next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa bone, joint, and sports surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
With today's technology, there's no reason to wait by the mailbox for bank statements. Just sign up for internet banking and e-statements. This is Sherry at Security State Bank. E-statements reduce the risks of mail fraud and identity theft. Internet banking allows you to check your balances, see checks and deposits that have cleared, transfer funds between accounts, make payments, and say goodbye to paper filing and shredding. Internet banking and e-statements from Security State Bank in Algona, Burke, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Bishop Garrigan 6, Janesville nothing here from Conway Field as you're listening to high school football on Home Country Radio KLGZ and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream. I'm Tyler Lance, my partner's Beanie Bodie. Beanie, the Golden Bears really didn't waste any time there, got the 4th down stop and then marched it right down the field.
2 great big plays, one by Garrett Hine making something out of nothing when he slipped, and then Cal Berkey with a really nice read on a run. Big plays, making a score happen. But, boy, great job scoring first. Missed the 2-point conversion. Tried to do a little nifty little play. Well designed, just not well executed. And now is the time where Garrigan, you can't rest on your haunches. This is not going to be a one-score win.
The left footer, Drew Lappy, kicks it off. But that one is going to sail out of bounds at the 20-yard line. He was trying to directional kick that one, but a little bit too directional here on the thin field.
Yeah, he's shaking his head as he comes off the field. That is not the kick that Drew was hoping to start his season with, but he'll get plenty more of those chances, we hope, after scores. He's going to go back in here, and Garrigan defense takes the field. Like we said earlier, there's a lot of guys that only are going one direction for Bishop Garrigan. Key on the linemen. You don't want to get those linemen tired out. Oh, they're going to re-kick the ball.
They'll move them back to the 25-yard line or make that the 20-yard line. Well, no, standing at the 25, check that in. They will re-kick it here.
I'm sure Drew's happy to get another chance of that re-kick. Janesville, since it went out of bounds, Janesville can choose to have it re-kicked. And after they nearly ran that previous kick back for a score, I can't blame them.
Peyton Trees is back deep again. Lappy is going to kick it to him. It's down the middle of the field. Trees takes it to the 15. He's to the 20-25, trying to get outside, and this time he is swallowed up. Great tackle there from Bishop Garrigan. That was Lucas Beanhoke and Brody Ludwig. Sorry, there. 2 22s on the roster.
Brody Ludwig. 22s. And Brody Ludwig, not surprised. He was the fun guy to watch last year on special teams. As a freshman, he played some varsity special teams and was exciting. I know he's spent some summer wrestling, Tyler. And, boy, he is not afraid of contact. So if you want someone to watch, if you're watching a live stream, watch number 22 on special teams. He's always going to do something.
Bishop Garrigan comes out. They've got that 3-man front, kind of a revamped defensive line with Borman and Fogarty, the new starters at the ends. In the pistol, it's the senior Eastman. Threw for 16 touchdown passes last season. Man in motion coming across, it's Trees. Trees looking for the edge, and he is just shy of the 30-yard line. Maybe gets to the 30s. He gains about 3 on that first down run.
Fogarty playing the left defensive end here in the 8-man set. Did not play football last year. Decided to come out for the senior year, and a lot of people are very happy about that. Drew's a big guy. He's grown a lot in the summer, gotten a lot taller. Physical guy. Unfortunately, he's got a plane with a broken bone in his hand, and he's got one of those good old clubs on his right mitt.
One of those old school clubs. You think about NFL film from the 1980s, you might see that. As in the shotgun, it's Eastman. He'll hand it off to Appleby. Appleby trying to run for the middle, and he is pile-driven at the 30-yard line. Ran into a wall that time with Caden Roffler, number 20, making the tackle for Bishop Garrigan.
That was a good read by Caden as that linebacker. He's reading the lineman. He watches that lineman. Whichever way the lineman moves, it tells Caden where the ball's going, and he filled that hole immediately. Good job and good coaching there to get Caden Roffler on the ball, make that tackle.
Caden Roffler can go sideline to sideline. He led Bishop Garrigan with 58.5 tackles last season. Top returning tackler for Bishop Garrigan as it's now 3rd down, 7 yards to go from the 27-yard line. Back to throw Eastman. He has pressure up the gut. He lets it go in the middle of the field, and it's tipped away, incomplete. Boy, put that one on the hands that time of Dane Appleby, but good coverage from Bishop Garrigan, and that will force a 4th down.
Oh, that was a nice, well-designed play, but good coverage. The defensive back there didn't see who it was, but timed that contact just perfectly. You can see right off the bat, Appleby for Janesville is the go-to guy. When they need some yardage, they're going to use Appleby as much as possible.
Bishop Garrigan will have 2 men back deep to receive, Berkey and Grangenet. As will be a punt here for Janesville. The snap is good to Eastman. Eastman from the 20-yard line kicks a spiraling kick towards Grangenet on the near side. Catches the 15, evades a tackler to the 20, heads towards the middle of the field, bounces off another tackler, and he gets out to the 29-yard line. Some slippery running from Jack Grangenet as Bishop Garrigan will get the ball back leading 6-0 with 8:32 on the clock.
Yeah, with 2 people back to receive punts gives you a lot of options. And Cal Berkey did not get that ball that time, but he was hustling over to set a block. He did a really nice basketball screen. Didn't really hit anybody, but got right in front of the tacklers so Jack Grangenet could do a little shifty running and get some yardage downfield. Those special teams yardage are very important. Try to get your team some good field position.
So Golden Bears will come out here with Hying in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers out to the left. Hovey, the tight end, on the right side of the line. Berkey in motion. Hying reading, hiding, keeping. He'll keep it through the middle. He's to the 35, out to the 36, and to the 37. Boy, Hying will gain about 7 there on first down. Quality gain.
Yeah, and that's a good sign right there on the Bishop Garrigan offensive line. You got Drew Casey snapping the ball at center. To his right is the big Logan Nemmers. He's the one that the opposing coach was afraid of, 6'6", I don't want to guess how heavy Logan is. And then on the other side, you got Nate Bronk. And with those 3 guys, you got to be able to move some people. And especially on first down, that's a big gain with those big uglies pushing the pile.
How about 3:20 on the rosters as a fullback give? Roffler gets across midfield. He's got the first down by plenty, and he is down to about the 37-yard line of Janesville, moving the sticks for Bishop Garrigan.
At 6'6", 320, Marty Wadley's pretty happy to have Logan Nemmers on his offensive line, and he's not the only coach in the Bishop Garrigan system that's looking forward to Logan Nemmers. I already think Logan Nemmers, I don't want to play basketball against Logan Nemmers either, 6'6", 320 pounds. He's got to post me up.
Drew Lappy will be the receiver on the left side for Bishop Garrigan. 2 running backs in the backfield standing directly behind Garrett Hying. It's Roffler the fullback and Berkey the tailback. He fakes it to Berkey. Hying rolling left, has time. He'll throw a wobbler down the field. Grangenet falls down, but the ball was out of bounds anyways, as that is second down.
You know, that is a high school level passing play. The quarterback gets some time, sets his feet, but the pass is kind of wobbly. The receivers are slipping and sliding. It's really just a testament of how difficult it is to execute a pass play at the high school level, and really just shows you how good those collegiate and professional football players are. It is pretty hard to do a pitch and catch and get all the pieces falling into place. That's why these high school coaches typically don't do it so often.
7:27 on the clock in this first quarter. 6-0 Bishop Garrigan as it's 2nd and 10 from the 37-yard line. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and Hying trying to read, and he kept it late. He spins to the 35-yard line, and he and Roffler got tangled up that time as Hying tried to pull it at the last minute.
That was the nice job by number 44 for Janesville, Logan Lashbrook. Just a freshman, but he read that play all the way, and he got himself in the backfield to just get in the way of Hying and Roffler and make them hesitate on their exchange. Gave enough time for the cavalry to come in behind him and finish the play. And he's also playing with a giant mitten on his hand. Logan Lashbrook has a bigger mitt on his hand than Drew Fogarty does.
And Lashbrook was the one who replaced Gabe Meany when he went out with an injury earlier, so getting a little run here. 3rd down and 8 from the 35-yard line for Bishop Garrigan. Hying in the pistol. Straight drop back to throw. Looks outside the numbers, and he sails it over the head of Cal Berkey right at the sticks, and that'll bring up 4th down and 8.
Yeah, he had Cal Berkey open for a second, just couldn't get the ball there. He was guarded by Keegan Eastman, the quarterback for Janesville. Had pretty good coverage, but Cal was open for that split second. Just a down-and-out pattern, usually a pretty automatic completion because it's hard for the defense to cover that. Just didn't quite happen, but I like to see Coach Wadley throwing the ball a little bit with the senior quarterback in Garrett Hying. Tried to put the ball in the air 3 times now so far this game. Pretty fun offensive series by Coach Wadley.
And you know what? Hying completed about 64% of his passes last year, so he's capable. So Garrigan will go for it from the 35-yard line. Hying fakes the give, rolls right. Looking to throw back across the body, and it's knocked down incomplete. Peyton Trees came in there, and he stopped the throwback as Garrigan turns it over on 4th down.
Oh, my goodness. Peyton Trees knocked that ball down and saved an easy touchdown because Aiden Hovey, the tight end, was so wide open on the near side with that tight end screen. He was going to catch that ball and walk into the end zone, but a touchdown-saving play there by Janesville's Peyton Trees, setting up this turnover on downs. Eastman's going to get the ball back for Janesville.
Trees is such an instinctive player. The senior had 4 picks last season for Janesville, scored a touchdown for them on offense last week in their 56-0 win, as Eastman will be on the gun. One running back on each side of his hip as he throws a slant, and it's complete for the first down to Trees, right on cue. Trees is down to the 30-yard line as that one goes for 15 yards.
Well, you just said it, Tyler. This Peyton Trees really has a knack for reacting to the game. And he ran a perfect pattern right between 2 Bishop Garrigan defenders. Eastman, the quarterback, puts it on the money. A nice quick-hitting, quick slant pass play. Pretty.
Trees last week did a great job for Janesville. Rushed for 6.8 yards per carry, is looking to throw. Eastman coming to the left. He throws. It's knocked away, and then it's secured at the last minute and then dropped again by Trees. Boy, that was a battle there defensively, as Trees kind of had the ball knocked out of his hands there in coverage.
Yeah, there was a juggling act going on there. I thought he was going to come down with it, and that was going to be a highlight reel catch. That would have been unbelievable if he could have juggled that in his basket. But Eastman and Trees, I think the play in the huddle was, all right, go out for a pass. This is 5th grade playground ball. You go out, because Trees just kept running around until they got open, and Eastman was looking at him the entire time.
To his credit, Justin Bauer did a great job sticking with him, as that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Trees in the gun, 1 running back on each side, throws another slant, and it's picked off. Cal Berkey stepped right in front of it and took it away. That pass was intended for Trevor Forey, and it was thrown a little bit outside his radius, right into the grasp of the Bishop Garrigan senior.
It was like Cal Berkey knew that ball was coming his way. He sniffed that play out. The whole team seemed to have about 4 linebackers out there. I have to look at that one on film again. But they were right in the right spot there. Good call, defense, good pick, execution. And now the offense, here we go. We'll see Cal Berkey get the ball right back in his hands here, I bet.
How about starting off your senior year for rushing touchdown and a pick, as this time it's Roffler barreling through the middle for about 1 yard, and that'll set up 2nd down.
Roffler lost his shoe, so he's going to have to come out and do some lace tying. He did pick up a couple of yards. And into the game comes Benji Trainer, the backup fullback. The Trainer's going to have a big role in the team this year. He put on a lot of muscle in this offseason. A lot of these Garrigan guys put on a lot of muscle in the offseason, which is unexpected. A good offseason program here at Bishop Garrigan. Tim Berkey running that, Coach Wadley and others keeping the weight room open when these guys can get in. See those guys working hard a lot during the summer when I'm casually watching a baseball game.
Matthew Kolash will be wide left. Berkey slot left. Berkey motioning left to right. Hine giving the hand off to Berkey. He's heading to the outside. He's across the 40. He's driving forward, and he has the 1st down. Cal Berkey gets into Janesville territory, and boy, he is running explosively so far today.
He did. Trevor Forey is a junior for Janesville, and he went over to tackle Cal and wanted no business as Cal was coming full speed downhill, and he was going to need at least 3 guys to bring him down. That's a great run by Cal Berkey. Powerful, fast, and he got a little bit of freedom from that hesitation caused by the fake handoff. I thought Garrett Hine was going to hold on to it for a second, but then he gave it to Cal around the end.
Cal Berkey averaged under 3 yards per carry last season, but a lot of teams are really stacking the box against him once Hine went down with an injury. 1st and 10, Hine faking to Roffler, and that play gets bottled up at the line. Roffler did actually get it there, and he gained about 1 yard as he was swung down. Eastman was in the area on the tackle.
Eastman playing quarterback for Janesville. He's also the defensive captain. He's their go-to guy, and he's getting the defensive calls, but he's just going to whatever strong side Garrigan is, and the coaches for Garrigan are trying to run away from him. So they're running to the Garrigan is running to the weak side. So right now Justin Bauer's going out strong right, and you'll see Eastman for Janesville go with him, and now Garrigan's going to run back towards the near side or to their left.
And it'll be Hine keeping this time, trying to pick his way through the line of scrimmage, but he is buried for a loss of 1. Boy, Hine pulled it back, and he kept it, and it was Jamin Reeves making the tackle for no gain and setting up 3rd down.
Now they've passed it out of this situation the first couple times this quarter, but, they might set up that tight end screen again, or how about that end around to Cal Berkey again? If that's one of the 5 plays that these teams have got ready for the beginning of the season, you've only worked on a few plays, go with the one that's working.
So 3rd down, 9 yards to go from the 36-yard line. 3:43 on the clock in this first quarter. Hine in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the left. Berkey motions right, Hine throwing, lobbing over the middle. Wide open, Avon Hobie. He's in the 15-10, and he's tripped up by his ankles inside the 10-yard line. Eastman finally got him, but Bishop Garrigan is now inside the Red Power red zone. Your local Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwith, West Bend, and Humboldt.
Oh, I like that play, that fake handoff to Cal Berkey freezes the linebackers, and Aiden Hofey just sneaks out there, gets behind them before they realize that Cal doesn't have the ball. That fake is crucial to get Aiden Hofey open, and he did the rest, hauled in a nice pass.
I formation of Kolash out to the right. Handoff comes to Berkey. He's coming for the middle. He's lowering the shoulder. He sheds a tackle, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. 12-0 Bishop Garrigan as Cal Berkey has his second score of the night.
Nice job by Cal Berkey, running hard, looking fast, looking physical. He's a strong kid. The Janesville coaches are out there giving those signs. They want their team to buckle down here and stop that. It is interesting how Garrigan looks like they struggle running the ball, and then on one play they execute it perfectly like that one, and Cal's off to the races.
So the two-point conversion attempt coming. Hine back to throw. Everyone spread out. It's a quarterback draw right through the middle, and Hine can walk into the end zone. 14-0 Bishop Garrigan as Hine pays it off with a two-point conversion. 3:17 on the clock. It's Bishop Garrigan 14 and Janesville nothing on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass, for all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch, Jill Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realty, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, where community connects.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast.
It's Bishop Garrigan 14, Janesville nothing. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie here on the Algona Radio YouTube stream and Home Country Radio. And Beanie, right now, Bishop Garrigan is pounding the rock. Cal Berkey, a couple rushing touchdowns, and the Golden Bears looking good on offense.
Yeah, scoring-wise, they couldn't be happier. Punching the ball in the end zone. Last year started off hot, too. Started punching the ball in the end zone. And they just want to keep that thing rolling. Obviously, there's a few cracks in their armor already. There's been some plays that have looked pretty ugly, but no major mistakes. Thanks to the referee crew doing a good job and not calling any penalties yet.
Drew Lappy kicks a bouncing kickoff to the 10. Trees has to wait for it and pick it up. Takes it to the middle, and he falls down before he gets to the 20-yard line. The grass monster got Peyton Trees that time before he could get accelerated, and Janesville will start from the 19.
And just as I say, I appreciate these referees. I know there's a big referee shortage. There's a lot of games played last night just so they could have officials. We'll work Thursday and Friday night to keep all these high school games going. But thanks to the officiating crew. Hailing mostly from the Charles City, Riceville, and Forest City area as I look at their lineup card. Thanks to them for making the trip over here and maybe missed a penalty on that last play according to the fans, but the fans aren't always correct.
So from the 19-yard line, the Janesville Wildcats will try to get something jump-started on offense as it'll be a handoff. A little run towards the right side, bottled up pretty quickly, though, and that one will gain about only 1 yard there against the Bishop Garrigan defense.
The Bishop Garrigan defense is doing a nice job as a team flowing to the ball. They're not just selling out, letting one guy make the tackle. That time they ran to Drew Fogarty. He strung the play out, and Garrett Hine, Caden Roffler, and the rest of the crew, Trayton Sink at the cornerback, were all there in a hurry to make that tackle on that run. Good team tackling, good team pursuit.
That was Talon Pletz, with his first carry of the night. And it'll set up second down and about 8 yards to go from the 21. In the shotgun, Eastman, he'll run to the left looking for blockers, trying to take it back through the middle, and he is upended. Garrett Hine in there, as well as Cal Berkey, and it's now third down and medium for Janesville.
As we've talked about, a lot of players not going both ways. A couple of the guys that are going both ways, Garrett Hine playing quarterback and linebacker out there. Cal Berkey is the defensive captain calling the signals out there. He's going both ways out there. Nate Bronk, another guy, he's going both ways. He's playing nose guard, and he plays that left guard on offense as well. And you got Caleb Borman out there playing right defensive end. Caleb is got a big frame, but that kid can eat a house and not put on a pound. But he'll put the work in over there at the right defensive end.
Pletz standing directly behind Eastman. The Golden Bears bring pressure. Eastman has to unload it quickly, and it is incomplete. Threw that one a little bit behind the intended target, Jaden Butler, that time. And that'll set up 4th down here with 1:45 on the clock.
Flag on the play. I think it's going to be a holding. We'll see if Bishop Garrigan takes it. It is holding on Janesville, and Garrigan's going to decline the ball and make it 4th down and force a punting situation. That hold was caused by a good, aggressive defensive rush there by, I believe that was Caleb Orman on the far side. He got past his blocker, Cole Hean, who had some size on him, but Caleb was too quick, and Cole just had to grab onto him and save his quarterback.
So 4th down and 7. Eastman has his heels back at the 10-yard line, setting up the punt. Snap comes in at his hip. It is a high, wobbling kick near side towards Grand Jeanette. Backs up to the 20 and catches it. Returns it to the 25-30. Has some space to the 35-40. Hard hit as Eastman blows him out of bounds along the sideline. But a good return from Grand Jeanette gets it out to the 39 as Eastman lowered the boom that time, coming from the punter and quarterback.
Well, does that qualify for the word physical that all the coaches have been dropping all the interviews this week?
That looked pretty physical. I would not have wanted to be on the receiving end of that hit.
That looked pretty physical. Jack Granchonet is elusive, but no one has ever said Jack Granchonet is big. And Eastman, who hit him, is quite big. And if you have studied physics, you know that large, fast-moving object is going to send the small, fast-moving object flying.
Yeah, Eastman, looking at the rosters, had a 50-pound advantage on Jack Granchonet that time, and also had the momentum advantage of running straight at him as well. So
everyone wants to see that one in slow-mo except Jack.
Well, Jack Granchonet is back out on the field. He is the receiver out far to the right as Hines under center with 1:34 on the clock. Bishop Garrigan starting the drive in Janesville territory as the handoff is to Rothler. He is wrapped up by the jersey, and he is ripped down by Reeves. He was able to fall forward for about 2 or 3.
You know, Rothler is such a workhorse, and he's carried the ball at least 10 times tonight and picked up good yardage, 2 or 3 here and there, but he's just a workhorse. He just faces that defensive line every time he gets the ball, and every time he doesn't get the ball, they tackle him. And one of these times, Rothler's going to break through on that quick hitter, and he'll squirt through to the end zone. But Coach Wadley's going to keep doing that because he wants to see Bronk, Drew Casey, and Logan Nemmers move that defensive line so Caden Rothler can just walk forward for.
The tight end, Hovey, is on the left side of the line. Kolash out to the right. Hine turning and giving to Berkey, and he's got space again. Flag comes flying, and as Berkey's to the 20, he's to the 15, shedding tacklers inside the 5-yard line. Cal Berkey's like a bowling ball rolling down the field, but this one might be coming back.
It'd be a shame if it comes back because that was some nifty footwork by Cal, not just to fight off tacklers, but he stayed in bounds somehow. I thought he was going to get knocked out of bounds for sure, but he stuck those feet to the ground and kept his balance inside the field of play.
And that is holding on Bishop Garrigan, so wipe out that great run by Cal Berkey. But in spite of that, Cal Berkey's doing some powerful and slippery running so far. I mean, the players are just falling off his jersey so far in this game.
Yeah.
As that sets up now 2nd down and about 13 yards to go.
You know, I think what's making Cal a little bit different this year compared to Cal as a junior is he seems to be able to get to that second level just a little bit quicker. I know he's done a lot of speed training. His father is the speed and strength conditioning coach here at Garrigan, and I know they've done a lot of work of getting Cal's speed even more impressive.
Caden Rothler standing next to Hine in the backfield. Berkey in the slot. Here comes the pressure. Hine trying to run it. He is hit right at the line of scrimmage and is able to fall forward, but not before Hahn and Reeves piled on top of him after a gain of 1.
Yeah, that was just a great read by them. You know, Garrigan's got the size. Janesville's got some decent size out there, but that time they were just quicker. They got off their blocks. They just kind of slipped out of the grasp of the Garrigan blockers and went to that point of attack. When you're running a quarterback draw like that, the hardest thing about it if you're an offensive lineman is maintaining your block. It's easy to come off the line, someone says hut, and you pop a guy, that's easy. But maintaining your block throughout the whole course of the play, really difficult. And the Garrigan Bears have to get better at that as the first quarter comes to an end.
And it was a very good first quarter for Bishop Garrigan as they take a 14-0 lead on 2 Cal Berkey touchdown runs. We'll take a timeout, and the second quarter action from Bishop Garrigan High School is coming up next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass, for all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau financial agents Dave Beisch, Jason Brace, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires. They're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realty, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, where community connects.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast.
More Sport Club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeves.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
Dump it. They do the dirty work so you don't have to.
Albert Electric. Flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
Greg Penny and Company CPA, certified public accountants, where everyone counts.
Yemlin Builders and Apartments, quality apartments for rent, beauty and craftsmanship that will never go out of style.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All sponsors of this broadcast.
They flip the field around as we start the second quarter. Bishop Garrigan a 3rd and 12 from the Janesville 39-yard line. Hine underneath center. Roffler and Berkey right behind him. One receiver out to the right. Hine turns, rolling right, looking down the field, keeping his eyes up, and he'll pull it. He'll try to run. He tiptoes the sideline as he gets down to the 30-yard line, but he'll come up about 3 yards short of the first down. And now they'll back it up to the 31 and set up 4th down and about 4.
You know, I know Coach Wadley likes to win that battle of field position that they talk about so much, but I think they're going to go for it on this 4th and down. But, you know, a little bit of a pooch kick would pin Janesville all the way back down by the goal line if you do it right. But he has elected to come out confident. He can pick up these 4.5 yards on 4th down.
Drew Lappy's out to the right, Hine underneath center in the eye. It's a heavy formation for the Golden Bears, so they give to Berkey. Berkey's hit hard. He tries to fall forward, but he did not get there. Boy, Berkey took a big hit by Jamin Reeves that time, and he came up 1 yard short of the first down as Bishop Garrigan turns it over.
Wow, what a collision. 2 number 9s meeting in the hole. And, man, that was rough. Jamin, am I saying that right?
Yes,
Jamin
yes.
is his name? Jamin Reeves for Janesville. Boyle stepped up and became a man right there, and he is feeling it. He's staying in the game, but he did not enjoy that hit. And they're calling in another play right now. But, boy, that was a kind of collision that if you're the parents of those two kids, you are both happy and concerned. That's some good, hard football right there.
Reeves recovered 2 fumbles last week in Janesville's win. Wildcats forcing 5 turnovers as it's an empty formation. All by himself in the backfield is Eastman. 2 receivers on each side. Eastman looking right, comes back over the middle of the field, has the completion, dropped it right in the bucket to Peyton Trees for the first down, gaining 11.
Wow, what a pass right there. These two have a connection. And, you know, you see those special connections if you watch football enough between a quarterback and a receiver. And these two have got it going for Janesville. There is no other receiver that Eastman is looking for other than his compadre, number 5, Peyton Trees.
Eastman struggled a little bit last week, 7 of 20 passing, 88 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, but that was a great throw with 11:23 on the clock. Bishop Garrigan up 14-0. Empty backfield again, firing out to the right, and there's another completion to Trees. Trees is near the sticks, tiptoes the sidelines, and he has about 9 yards to set up 2nd and 1.
Well, this is a good, interesting moment for the defensive backs. They're getting a chance to play that passes. That's what every defensive back wants. They want that other team to throw the ball because then they get a chance to do something cool and look fancy for the crowd by making an interception. So one of these defensive backs for Garrigan just needs to make a read on that ball. And obviously key on Peyton Trees, the guy that's getting the ball. So know where that guy is at, and let's put someone on him.
2nd down. Make it 2 yards to go from the 31-yard line for Janesville. Bishop Garrigan up 14-0. Empty backfield again. They are airing it out with Eastman. Man in motion as Eastman's going to draw it up the middle. He has the first down, and he is planted by Garrett Hine coming across the field, but not before Eastman gains 2 yards and moves the sticks.
Yeah, Hine buried him, and it was one of those hits that's not that hard, but it sure looked brutal because Nate Bronk had him wrapped up down low. He had the running back around the ankles, and so when Garrett Hine came in up top, that guy went down quick, and you always hear a little bit of a ooh out of the crowd when something like that happens. And I just like to see those kids get back up and get back to the huddle with all their parts in place.
Coach Eastman has really made an adjustment this draft as he has spread things out for his quarterback. He's in the gun again, this time joined by one running back on his right hip, and now he'll motion the running back out to the left. Eastman looking, he's firing to the right, and that pass is knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. That was number 55, Drew Fogarty, making an impact.
Yeah, hopefully that didn't hit him right in the cast. It's kind of interesting. We got two kids playing with casts on their hands right now, and you might think, well, how is that safe? That can't be legal. But if they have a hard cast on their broken bone and they have it fully wrapped and concealed with padding, you can play out there. And each team tonight has a guy playing with a giant club on his hand.
Empty formation, Britt moving left to right across the formation, and this play's blown up in the backfield. Borman read that one perfectly as the quarterback Eastman tried to keep it, and Borman gave him a bear hug back at the 35-yard line.
You know, Caleb Borman gets the sack there. He needs to go over and give a high five to his defensive coaches as well, because they called that blitz. Normally that defensive end plays it safe. He's the contain guy, but right off the jump, Caleb Borman was heading into the backfield, so that had to be a defensive stunt there by Bishop Garrigan. Nice job by Borman executing that stunt. Caleb stepping up, feeling the whole of Jacob Lear, one of the departing seniors. He was a great defensive end last year, and Caleb's got a big body and some big shoes to fill.
Lear had 8 sacks last season to lead Bishop Garrigan as the Golden Bears will rush free. Throwing is Eastman, lobbing it down the field. He has trees, but he underthrew it, and it's knocked away by Justin Bauer, who almost made a one-handed pick down at the 10-yard line, but it's now 4th and 15.
Nice play by Bauer. Bauer's a guy last year, probably would have seen some playing time, but we never got to find out because he broke his collarbone right off the bat at the beginning of the season and sat the year. I think he might have came in and he might have run a little bit of cross country late in the season when his collarbone healed just to get in shape. But on the football field once again this season.
So 4th down and 15. Bishop Garrigan sending Berkey back to receive. The snap is bounced in, but Eastman still punts it away. He will kick it out of bounds, and we'll see where they mark it. Out of bounds along the near side, and they will walk it all the way down to the 12. No, they'll walk it up a few more steps here, so it'll be a little bit more favorable for Bishop Garrigan. Out to the 18-yard line, and that is where Bishop Garrigan will start the drive with 10:01 on the clock. Well, they did not want Cal Berkey to touch that one. I think they saw Berkey burn them for a couple touchdown runs early in this game, and usually when you've got a great running back returning kicks, they'll try to directionally kick it away from that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, a lot of these Janesville guys, typical of 8-man football, are going both ways, and you can see here in the second quarter, early in the season, starting to see some guys getting tired. And that means we're just one broken tackle away from a long run here.
I formation for Bishop Garrigan. Handoff comes to Berkey, running left, and he's got a ton of space. Berkey to the 30, and it's a foot race. 40, 30, he's to the 20. Here comes Cal Berkey. He's to the 10, 5, touchdown. Berkey stepping out of the tackle of Eastman. And boy, you called it right there, partner of your crystal ball. Cal Berkey breaking a huge touchdown run as he goes 62 yards for the score, his 3rd of the night.
Man, Cal Berkey is having a night. Congrats to Cal. Keep it going, Cal Berkey. You've put in the time, you've earned it. Now keep running for touchdowns and give your buddy Caden Rother the ball once in a while. but man, it is fun watching Cal Berkey hit the open field and turn on the Jets. That is a great job by the offensive line. He didn't even have to break a tackle. He just is off to the races.
I'm not much of a hockey guy, but I believe that's called a hat trick as Berkey has his 3rd touchdown of the night. Golden Bears set to go for 2. 3 receivers out to the right. Hine taking the snap. Hine looking. Hine firing, and it is tipped and incomplete. He was looking for Bauer on the slant, but it was off his fingertips as Bishop Garrigan holds a 20-0 lead over Janesville with 9:51 on the clock, and we will keep it right here. But boy, it has been all Cal Berkey tonight. 3 huge rushing touchdowns, an interception on defense, and as they say, seniors show up.
Yeah, that senior is definitely showing up, and no one on the Bishop Garrigan team will be surprised that Cal is running the ball because no one at practice wants to try to tackle Cal. He runs physical, he runs fast, he runs hard, and he won't be surprising anybody next week when the stats come out tomorrow and they see that he has over 100 yards before halftime. That just kind of impressed some guys out there, and coaches are going to start keying on Cal Berkey. All right, let's see if this kickoff team can make some improvement. They've struggled a couple times in this game. Kicked it out of bounds once, re-kicked it, but they gave up a long one to start off the season. And Coach Wadley's out there right now making sure everyone knows what their job is. It's real important on these kickoffs that these guys stay in their lanes and that no matter where that receiver runs, we have a person there in that alley to tackle him.
Well, back deep to receive is number 20 on this one. That is Talon Pletz. Trees is not on the field for this kick return, which is interesting because he's the one who had the big return earlier in this evening. But we'll see what Lappy decides to do here. The left-hander runs up, and he kicks it away, end over end back towards Pletz. It bounces the 5-yard line, and it sticks. Pletz has to pick it up and return it to the 10. He's out of a tackle by Roffler, but he is swarmed by 5 Golden Bears at the 12-yard line. We'll see who all is there as they unpile it, but that looked to be Ludwig over there, Trainer as well for Bishop Garrigan, Sink, all in there on the tackle.
Yeah, boy, Roffler got there and caused that runner to hesitate for a second. That got everyone there. And as usual, Brody Ludwig down there. Those guys are aggressive on the kickoff, and that's what you got to be as long as you stay in your lane and make sure they don't break any big ones.
So it will be first down and 10. Ball spotted at the 12-yard line for Janesville.
Okay, we're seeing Nate Bronx getting a breather. In for nose guard is Keaton Helliseth. Just going to give Nate Bronx a break. They like to rotate some guys in there. We got a couple new bodies out there. We'll give them to you in a second.
All kinds of depth on the defensive line as Eastman rolls right. He stops and fires over the middle. It's high and incomplete as he sailed it behind the intended receiver, Trees.
Oh, Trayton Sink was behind, and that time, if he would have stayed back, he would have had a pick, but you can't risk that ball's going to be overthrown. He was going up to make that tackle, and the ball sails long. Boy, Janesville certainly not afraid to throw the ball, Tyler. They have got confidence in their quarterback, Eastman.
They've been airing it out tonight, and we have hardly called the name of Dane Appleby. Appleby, the running back, went for 170 yards on the ground last week, but like you said, partner, they have been airing it out so far in this game as the backfield is empty. 2 players were in motion at the snap, and there's a flag. Throw over the middle is intercepted by Garrett Hine. Hine to the 10, he's to the 5, reaching for the pylon, and he's in for the touchdown. A pick 6 from Garrett Hine in his first game back from injury, his senior year, and Bishop Garrigan is making it rain points here in the second quarter.
Wow,
26-20.
Way to go, Garrett Hine. There's going to be some confusion. Yeah, okay, so that was interesting. I thought there was movement on the offense, and I thought that was a dead play because I saw the offense moving, and their coach is a little concerned too. He's like, well, I'd rather have the penalty of offsides and not give up the touchdown. But the call was that
that should be an illegal shift, I believe. 2 men in motion at the snap is what it looked like because they had both slot receivers trying to move, and then one of them stopped.
So that is a declinable penalty, and Garrigan can decline that penalty and take the touchdown, evidently. I thought it was an automatic dead ball, but I guess an illegal shift play continues.
So Garrett Hine now at the quarterback spot after that pick 6. Hine takes it. He rolls right looking for the 2-point conversion. He's looking for the edge, and he gets there. That is the 2, and that is a 28-0 lead for Bishop Garrigan as the Golden Bears have 9:34 on the clock here in the second quarter. And this game, partner, is starting to look like Bishop Garrigan's opener last season. If you recall, they rolled to a 56-20 win over Rockford in their very first game. It just seemed like everything was going the Golden Bears' way. And boy, so far tonight, it's been like a boulder of momentum rolling down a hill.
Oh, absolutely. That strange play that resulted in the Garrett Hine interception for a touchdown really took the wind out of the sails there for that Janesville team. In fact, as Hine was running in for that 2-point conversion and he was heading for the pylon, number 8 for Janesville, Dawson Graham, just had this dejected look on his face that he wasn't even going to try to get there to make the tackle because you could feel that boulder you mentioned is proverbially rolling downhill now. And this happens in 8-man football. Once a team gets out there and you think you have it in reach, and then one play happens where it turns the tables, and 28-0, that is that play that turns the table. So now the coach for Janesville has got to rally his team and say, hey, we can't let this go. Anything can happen in 8-man football. Teams can turn things around. Don't give it up yet. But I agree with you, Tyler. Appleby was running the ball well, and he has not gotten the ball since early in the first quarter. And he's over on the sidelines, and I wonder if he might be a little dinged up, but they have not gone back to him.
Well, he is not wearing his helmet right now, which may explain a possible injury as Lappy bounces it inside the 5-yard line. It's bobbled by Pletz, who has to pick it back up. He's to the 10, and he is hit by a swarm of Golden Bears right there. It'll be a long field for Janesville as Pletz is stopped at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Appleby, now that I see that over there, you're right. He may be nursing something. He's just a sophomore over there. You know, you get these young players. It's early in the season, and if you're a coach and there's any chance that a player might be on the verge of getting dinged up, because these guys don't tell you. These high school kids, they're not going to be honest with you because they want to play. Like, yeah, this this game, it's not meaningless, obviously, but you want to play a whole season of football, and if you got a kid that's a little dinged up, you're not going to risk it this early in the season.
No doubt about it. So 1st and 10 from the 9-yard line. In the shotgun, it's Eastman. He has the running back, Britt, right next to him, and the handoff goes to Britt. Britt's to the outside looking for the edge, and he gets banged out of bounds. Cal Berkey lowering the shoulder. Also in there was Trayton Sink, as that play will gain a couple of yards.
Yeah, that's that sweet play. You always think those things are going to go for 20 yards. They look so pretty. And then when they're all said and done, it wasn't 20 yards, it was just 4 yards.
So 2nd down and 6 to go from the 13-yard line for Janesville. Bishop Garrigan up 28-0 with 9:22 on the clock in this second quarter. As Janesville will take a little extra time breaking out of the huddle. They're down to 10 on the play clock as they get up to the line of scrimmage. In the gun, it's Eastman. Snap comes in letter high as Eastman will hand it off. Trying to get outside is Trees. Trees getting bottled up, though. And the tackle is made by Drew Fogarty.
Yeah, now they've run that play enough. And Trees is running that spot that normally Appleby would run. That's been a pretty good play for them early in the game. But Drew Fogarty has seen that one enough. He makes that quick read. He actually came from the backside defensive end spot, ran him down from behind.
So 3rd down, 8 yards to go from the 11. Janesville will need the 19-yard line.
So we got Garrett Hine, Benji Traynor in there at linebacker for Bears.
Fogarty and Borman on the ends of the defensive line. Helliseth in the middle for Bishop Garrigan. In the shotgun, the senior Eastman. In motion is Trees. They give it to Trees. Trees is hit hard. He is stopped, and he is going nowhere. Keaton Helliseth and Caleb Borman both in there, and that play did not fool Bishop Garrigan on the motion.
No, I think they have seen the playbook at this point. Those Bishop Garrigan guys have seen. They actually have a benefit of watching a game film from last week. So at this point, the Garrigan Bears have seen all of Janesville plays, and that defense is locking them down.
Yeah, you thought going into it, it might have been advantage Janesville just having some of those first game jitters out of the way, but that's a good point. Maybe it's advantage Bishop Garrigan because they had more film on Janesville, as it'll be a punt from Eastman, has it with his heels on the goal line, and he kicks an end-over-end kick to the near side. Berkey catches at the 37 and crosses midfield. He's to the 35-30, flag from behind the play, as Berkey is tackled at the 30-yard line and down to the 20 now, but that flag came in from behind, so this one is likely coming back.
Well, I heard a big huzzah from the Garrigan coaches down on the other side of the booth. They saw something, and it is a block in the back. So they were either upset at the guy that threw the block in the back, and that caused the big noise down there, or they saw something else that they got excited about. But that nice run by Berkey is coming back. That's his second nice run of the evening that's coming back due to penalty. And I always think that's just got to be the biggest disappointment for any sort of athlete that has to carry the ball. When they pull off a great run and they're on the top of the mountain, and then all of a sudden they find out they got to hike back down the mountain, do it all over again.
Well, I can tell you've been reading your thesaurus before the game. Huzzah was a good way to describe that. Definitely not a term I've heard a lot during many football games, but that was perfect.
Tyler, I teach high school. No one has a thesaurus anymore. You're the young guy.
Oh, man. Sometimes. 1st down and 10. Bishop Garrigan gives to Roffler as he lowers the shoulder and drives to the middle, keeping the legs moving as it took 2 to bring him down. The 2 in on the tackle that time were Forey as well as Reeves, but Roffler able to power forward for 4.
Yeah, Roffler is getting these 3-4-yard runs. And he's earning every single yard. I hope this kid at some point this season gets to break a run where he gets to run with the ball for at least a few steps before someone's hanging all over him.
Well, it's that famous midline read for Bishop Garrigan. Everyone knows it's coming at some point, but it's a matter of if you can stop it or not. And Roffler's a big part of that, as Bishop Garrigan will have Kolash out to the left. Hine is in the pistol with one man behind him. That's Roffler. Hine stepping back to pass. Hine throws a low pass. Diving down to get it, though, is Hovey as he makes the catch right at the sticks. About a yard or 2 short, but Aiden Hovey doing a nice job securing that one.
Well, that was just a straight-up honest pass play. Matt Kolash was out for a pass. Cal Berkey was out for the pass. Aiden Hovey out for the pass. Choice of receivers for Garrett Hine there. And I think Hovey is shaping up to be his guy that he's keying on first.
Lappy will be the receiver to the right. Hovey the tight end on the left side of the line. Hines under center of 2 men in the backfield. 3rd down and 2. It's a give to Roffler. Roffler's got the 1st down as he bursts through the line of scrimmage. He's inside the 35-yard line, and he trucks over Eastman to move the sticks.
Well, there he goes. Roffler got at least 4 yards there before he got hit hard by Eastman. I think the 2 hardest hitters out there on the field tonight are Eastman for Janesville and Caden Roffler for Garrigan. Do we have a sponsored hard hitter award yet, Tyler? Let's work on that.
We should. I'll have to pitch it to the sales team.
You should talk to Bodie Moonlight Garden, see if they'll sponsor a hard hit award. I like hard hitting.
I think everyone does. We've seen a couple hard hits so far in tonight's game. Jack Ranginette took a big one on a kickoff back down the line. Caden Roffler delivered one right there as it's 1st and 10 from the 32. Hine turning, fakes the give, rolls left, and he fires it low. Another diving attempt, but incomplete this time to Hovey as Forey was draped all over him on the coverage.
You know, Janesville is doing a nice job on their pass coverages this whole game. Garrigan receivers are never able to get much separation. And probably because Janesville throws the ball a lot themselves, these guys work on covering pass routes a lot in practice when they're just practicing for their own offense. But hard for the Garrigan receivers to get any separation today. Other than that long pass to Hovey earlier, that nearly a touchdown.
6:08 on the clock for Bishop Garrigan, up 28-0. Grangenet is the receiver to the right. Hine underneath center again of Hovey on the left side of the line. It's a pitch to the left for Berkey, trying to get him in space. Flag from behind as Berkey's got the first down. He's to the 20, 15-10, 5 and into the end zone. But this one likely is not going to count. Berkey's already had one big run of race tonight. Will it be a second?
I didn't even want to move the camera on that one because I knew that one was coming back. I saw the official right there. Drew Casey at the center spot. Was blocking hard. His opponent got through the line, and they both kind of fell down, and Drew just stayed on him. And you can't lay on the guy after he goes down. That's a holding. And Drew tapped himself on the chest right away and looked over the sideline and said, like, that's my bad. Sometimes you just can't help it. Lay on that guy when you're down because then you know he can't get up and make the tackle. But that's an unfortunate call back. I don't think Drew's guy was going to make any tackle on that play anyway.
And Cal Berkey's going to be saying, you owe me one to Drew Fogarty after that, as it's now 2nd and 19.
Well, you know, what Drew can do is just make a great block here and have Cal run for another touchdown, and that's an extra 10 yards because that's how much they have to go backwards right here. And then Drew can say, well, there you go. I just got you another 10 yards rushing for this touchdown, which would be Cal's 4th of the game if they give him that ball again.
So 2nd down and a mile to go. Make it 2nd and 23 as they backed it up and respotted it.
Now Eastman is out of the game. That's the time to run the ball as he is their best tackler.
Roffler standing right behind Hine. Hine's looking to throw. Hine stepping up. He'll let it fly for Berkey. Berkey dives and he can't quite make the catch. Just inside the 20-yard line. Hine slightly overshot it as Berkey won the one-on-one matchup that time with Trees, but Hine couldn't quite drop it in the bucket.
Oh, that would have been pretty. One of those could-have-beens. As it is, it's just a long run for Cal Berkey. He's got to be getting out of breath now as he trots after that hard sprint downfield. And we'll see what they opt to do here. 3rd and long.
You know, I'll be interested to see the final stats after tonight's game, and depending on how Cal Berkey goes. Last year total, he had 209 yards rushing. I mean, he's got to be getting close to at least 100, I would think, at this point, as we are going to have a timeout called here, 5:53 on the clock, a 28-0 lead for Bishop Garrigan. So with that timeout, we'll take one as well and come back in 60 seconds on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
With over a decade of experience, Jake Ingalls Electric is here to handle any electrical job you could possibly have. From anything agricultural related to complex commercial wiring to something simple like installing a new outlet in your home. Jake Ingalls Electric does it all. Have your wiring done right and call Jake at 515-320-4286. Jake Ingalls Electric, shockingly good service.
When it's time for school, it's time to stop at Cenex. You can fill up your car with high-quality gas and fill up your stomach with a quick breakfast. Maybe most important of all, you can fill up your mug with hot coffee. So all you students and teachers, skip the snooze button and head into Cenex on your way to school.
Pick up your gift card at your local New Way K&H Classic stop in Algona, Burt, or Wesley. They appreciate your business.
Back here from Bishop Garrigan High School, where the Golden Bear offense is firing all cylinders, and the T-shirt cannons are firing T-shirts all over the crowd. T-shirts for everybody, as it's 3rd down and 23 from the 34-yard line for Bishop Garrigan.
That's a lot of T-shirts, I think, sponsored by Steyr Ag there. They got their T-shirt cannon, and I don't think they have a license for that cannon because it is launching them real high.
High on 3rd and 23, swings it out to Roffler. He'll gain 1 yard, but he will be tackled by Eastman, who's been around a lot of tackles tonight, and that'll bring up 4th down and 22 yards to go for Bishop Garrigan.
All I'm saying, Tyler, is that there is a legitimate chance that at some point this season at one of these home games, your equipment is going to get destroyed by a T-shirt coming through this press box window.
My boss would not be happy to hear this, but if that's the cost it takes for me to get a T-shirt, count me in.
Because I think that cheerleader that just fired that T-shirt cannon, it was the first and only time she's fired a weapon.
I would say that's a pretty safe bet, as there's 5:15 on the clock, and Lappy is coming in to make a rare punt. Back deep to receive his Trees. Lappy running up, almost got that one blocked, but got it away. It is a wobbling kick to the far side, bounces at the 20, rolls sideways, and that one will die at the 17-yard line, which is where Janesville will take possession.
Well, I thought it looked like that hit Cal Berkey. He was running downfield, and I thought it looked like that ball hit him in the left arm, but must not have. Just took a crazy hop the other way. Officials right there on the scene. Boy, 5 minutes till halftime. Typically, these first games of the season go really fast because both teams are running the ball, just working on their running plays. But this first half has been an enjoyable, lengthy one. We've gotten to see a lot of good football here. A lot of different plays by both teams, passing, running. Seen it all here. Bishop Garrigan defense is starting to put their hands on their hips now. They might be looking a little bit tired. And Janesville might have a chance to do something. The officials in the middle of the Janesville huddle waiting for something. If either got to call a timeout or something there, Janesville is going to call a timeout.
Janesville will take a timeout, and we'll keep it right here with 5:01 on the clock. And what's interesting, something that happened a lot last year for Bishop Garrigan is it would be offense goes 3 and out, defense fights hard, but then offense goes 3 and out again. Defense continues to fight, but then it's another 3 and out, and then all of a sudden your defense is exhausted in the second quarter. Today it might almost be the opposite. Bishop Garrigan is scoring so fast that the defense is just getting right back out there immediately.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have a lot of players going both ways, it's easy to get worn down, and it doesn't even seem to matter if you're on offense or defense. You're just trying to keep up with what's going on in the game and try to keep your head above water. But I think it with the experience that a lot of these Garrigan guys have, especially on the linemen, I think they really start to get some momentum going one way or the other. And let's face it, Tyler, like most linemen prefer to play offensive linemen because they know what they're doing. They get to be the aggressor. They get to go hit someone. So I think that these offensive linemen for Garrigan probably rather like it when they just get to play offensive line, like Logan Nemmer's playing just offensive line. He gets to really focus on that. That means he can come in with all of his energy and just be raring to go against a defender that is probably a little bit tired because he's been going both ways.
That is a great point, and we've seen a ton of depth so far tonight on the Bishop Garrigan lines. I mean, we're talking probably 6-7 different players we've seen in different spots and just continuing to rotate and try to stay as fresh as possible, as it'll be at the 19-yard line for Janesville, 5:01 on the clock, and Bishop Garrigan leading at 28-0. The Wildcat offense has Eastman with Trees on his right hip, awaiting the snap. He'll take it, and he'll give to Trees on the draw. Trees trying to pick his way for the middle, and he bounces it outside, pinballing his way to the 25-yard line, and tackled at the 26. Finally got tripped up there, but boy, it looked like he was running into a total crowd that time before he extended it and bounced it outside.
He was in a total pile of Nate Bronk, Garrett Hying, both big bodies. They had created that pile and stuffed it, and Caleb Borman was trying to see what was going on. He was right there. He's the defensive end. He's trying to keep it from bouncing outside, but he just couldn't see what was going on. And the next thing he saw was the runner bouncing it outside and around the end.
7-yard gain for Trees, down to 4:24 on the clock. Shotgun again for Eastman. Running back on his left hip is Trees. Looking to keep it. Eastman trying to draw for the middle. Runs into his own lineman, and then he is twisted down by Borman. Got pretty close to the sticks, as it will depend on the spot, but that time Eastman ran into Jamin Reeves, one of his offensive linemen, and that slowed him up a little bit.
Yeah, that was a good read by the Garrigan defense. Good job by Borman because they pulled the backside, I guess it would be the guard in 8-man football, and brought him all the way across, and Caleb Borman met the blocker, fought it off, and kept that play from becoming more.
So it was just enough to pick up a first down for Janesville, 3:53 on the clock. Shotgun for Eastman again, same formation as last time, giving it to Trees. Trees looking to stretch it to the edge, and Fogarty keeps the edge and rips Trees down after a 4-yard loss. Boy, Fogarty setting the edge that time, doing a great job for Bishop Garrigan.
Yeah, he did definitely set the edge. Such an important position in all levels of football, but especially 8-man, because it just feels like those running backs, if they do get outside into the open field, it's a huge yardage play. So Drew Fogarty doing a great job. Caleb Borman as well at the defensive end spot. Nate Bronk right between those guys, really doing a good job taking on a lot of blockers so those defensive ends can focus on making the tackle.
This time it'll be 2 backs in the backfield with Eastman. He's got Pletz on his right hip, Trees on his left, and the give will be to Pletz. Pletz has some space as he crosses the 30, lowers the shoulder, and drives his way out to about the 33-yard line. Gains 6 or 7 to set up 3rd down and manageable.
Good blocking by Janesville that time. They put 2 guys blocking Nate Bronk, and they drove him to their right, and that running back did a great job of just cutting right off their behinds and finding that little tiny seam to pick up that yard. That's a good, solid play for Janesville. And Rothler and Hine getting some good experience. They got all the experience last year before Hine got hurt, but Rothler's got a whole year of linebacker under his belt, and he's doing a nice job of reading that ball.
3rd down. 8 yards to go for Janesville. Eastman back to throw, taking a deep drop, backpedaling, sidearming it down the field. He's got Trees wide open. He slides and makes the catch at the 19-yard line. If that ball was delivered a little bit out in front of him, that's a walk-in touchdown, but that is still a big completion, getting Janesville inside the Red Power red zone. Your local Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwolf, West Bend, and Humboldt.
Well, Trees was wide open, and I think everybody in the defensive backfield for Garrigan thought the ball was going to number 20, Talon Pletz, because he was coming halfway across the field, and he looked like he was open. And I don't think anyone saw Trees sneaking back, getting behind everybody.
So Janesville with a chance to get something on the board here before halftime. 1:57 and ticking on the clock. And now the Wildcats might try to slow it down a little bit here and force some time to run off so Bishop Garrigan won't get the ball back. And now Janesville is disorganized, and they will call a timeout with 1:48 on the clock. But,
yeah.
Beanie, how do you manage this last couple minutes here if you're Janesville?
Well, they are disorganized right now. Their coaches are a little bit frustrated. They called the timeout earlier because they were just trying to figure out who's going to be where. I think they've got some new bodies in there, and they had to take a timeout there. But it's now that they've used timeouts, they only have one left here before half. I don't think they care too much. I think they just want to get some points on the board. But they are running the ball a little bit better this drive. If they can, if I was them, I'd run that ball, use that last timeout, get that play clock down to under 30 seconds, because you wouldn't want to give Garrigan any time left in the half if you can help it.
So 28-0 is the Bishop Garrigan lead, 1:48 on the clock. And don't forget, coming up during our halftime report, you can tune in for an explanation of some of football's toughest calls from Algona official Tom Claude. It's You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities. So that is what's coming up at halftime. 1 minute and 48 seconds in football time away. We'll see how long that takes as Janesville will come out of the timeout here and set up from the 19-yard line.
Even coming out of the timeout, the Janesville players look a little confused, like, are you sure, Coach? Like, this is what we're doing? So yeah, there's a player going the wrong direction. Eastman straightens him out, sends him the right way. Well, let's see what they have dialed up here. I think they just created something.
Butler's going to be in the slot to the right. Trees wide to the right. And Trees got started too early, and that's a false start as he holds his hands to his head. Haven't seen a whole lot of yellow tonight penalty-wise, but this will back Janesville up 5 yards.
That's unfortunate, and I think part of their play that they had all planned out was that they were going to go on two, and Caleb Borman jumped a little bit. He flinched, but he can do that. He's a defensive player. Defense can flinch all they want as long as they don't cross the line. And Caleb flinched, but he didn't break. But Trees, he took off down the field, and that'll bring him back. So Janesville just trying to get a free 5 yards there. And now they've got to do it all over again, minus 5 yards, and try whatever play they designed in the half. I'm sure they designed a new play. You can just see it on the players' faces sometimes that, hey, this is a new play. We just designed it because we think it'll work here. I think it's going to be a pass to Trees. That's why he went off sides.
2 men in the backfield this time. Handoff coming to Pletz. Pletz is buried right at the line of scrimmage. Players flying from everywhere for Bishop Garrigan. Hine finished off that tackle up top, and they'll unpile underneath, as that was Nate Bronk at the very bottom of the pile who started that whole tackle off.
Well, Pletz didn't make it too hard. He took that handoff, and he didn't even have any momentum. He just kind of stood there like an NFL running back looking for a hole before he turns on the jets, but there was no time to turn on the jets. He was just standing there sitting duck for Nate Bronk to take out.
So that play gained 0 yards. In fact, it lost 1, 2nd down and 16 from the 26-yard line. Janesville has backed up 7 yards here since getting down to the 19. 2nd down as we will have a whistle here, and it'll be another timeout from Janesville.
Their last of the half, I believe.
That is right, last of the half for Janesville. They'll take it with 1:02 on the clock here. And we'll step aside for a quick timeout as well while they take it. You're listening to high school football here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ Algona.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
Just over a minute away from halftime here on Home Country Radio as Bishop Garrigan is leading their season opener over Janesville by a score of 28-0. The game has kind of grinded to a halt here a little bit in the last 2 minutes as Janesville is trying to punch one in, but they've been backed up by a penalty and a negative run to set up 2nd down and 17.
Well, they had the big win last week and they're scoreless. This is an important score for Janesville. They've got to want this one. They got a minute left, but now with no timeouts, they got to manage the clock pretty well. So good learning opportunity for them, a little 2-minute drill. But they need a score here just to go into halftime with some confidence.
2 receivers on each side of the formation. And in motion coming from right to left is Butler, and running left is Eastman off the snap. Trying to reverse to the right, shakes off a Bronx tackle, runs into the middle of the field, and he is popped by Justin Bauer and stopped after no gain. That's a lot of hard work to gain 0 yards.
Yeah, and Eastman is the guy you want controlling the ball, control that line of scrimmage. He's a good player, but you kind of knew it wasn't going to be passed to Logan Lashbrook out on the near side because I don't know how he's going to catch that ball with that giant cast he has on his left hand. That would be an impressive catch with only one hand. So I don't blame you. Why not run that quarterback draw? Let your best player. It's just good defense by the Bears.
Lashbrook's been setting up at the tight end spot right on the edge of the line of scrimmage, and he sets back up at his tight end position here, but you're right, he was split out wide last time. Eastman deep drop to throw. He'll let it rip towards the end zone. Back is Trayton Sink, and he picks it off in the end zone. Trayton Sink, an interception with 6 seconds left on the clock, and Janesville is denied a score right before halftime.
Oh, nice interception there by Trayton. Eastman just took a chance, thought why not? I'm going to throw to the end zone, see if my receiver can go up and make a play, but the receiver that made the play was on the defense. Nice job, Trayton Sink. Likely his first interception of varsity football. He played a lot of linebacker last year and not as many opportunities at picks as if you're playing that cornerback position. But Trayton, a good, solid young football player.
You're right, first career interception at the varsity level for Trayton Sink, as Garrett Hine will sit on the football, and Bishop Garrigan will take a 28-0 lead into halftime. Golden Bear defense with 3 interceptions in the first half. Cal Berkey with 3 rushing touchdowns for Bishop Garrigan, and of course a pick 6 from Garrett Hine, accounting for this 28-0 lead. Partner, your final thoughts here before we head into halftime.
Well, good opening start for Bishop Garrigan, running the ball well. Cal Berkey running with authority. Caden Rothler running with authority against a solid defensive tackling. And I'm sure Coach Wadley will say he wants to see more out of his line and is going to come out that second half and try to pound that ball.
So Bishop Garrigan up 28-0 as we head into halftime. We will take a quick timeout, and You Make the Call is coming up next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Farmer State Bank is proud to be a part of our community for over 125 years with offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Jensen Chiropractic. Care for the whole family.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Phil's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oak Crest Funeral Services, celebrating a life lived.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Frame and Auto Body, collision specialist, a total commitment to excellence.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service, call 295-SOFT.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
It's time for You Make the Call as we test your knowledge of the rules. You Make the Call is brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, where they are community-owned for community benefit. Our referee this evening is Tom Claude.
Quarterback A1 drops back to pass, but is unable to find a receiver downfield. As a result, he either throws the ball directly to the ground or he throws the ball to the ground in an area occupied by only defensive players. Is this legal? You make the call.
Make the call with AMU Telephone Service. AMU local and long-distance telephone provides the call clarity and reliability you expect at an affordable price. Enhance your AMU telephone service with calling features like caller ID and voicemail. When you switch to AMU telephone, you can keep your 295 phone number and you get friendly local customer service. Make the call to AMU to install AMU telephone. Algona Municipal Utilities, community-owned for community benefit.
In both situations, this would be ruled an illegal forward pass by A1. You would penalize the offensive team 5 yards from where A1 threw the ball and count the down.
And this has been You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, where they are community-owned for community benefit.
All right, there you go. That is You Make the Call here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ. With that, we're going to take a little break here on the video stream. For those of you listening on the radio, we'll have a weather report coming up in just a little bit, as well as Radio Iowa and ABC Sports Reports. So that's what's coming up on the radio. Again, stay tuned here on the stream, as we'll have the second half coming up after halftime. You're listening to high school football on Home Country Radio.
More Sports Club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Algona Livestock Sales. Sales every Monday.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce. 2 sauces for all seasons.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic. Animals large and small. They love them all.
Rental Zone. Highway 18 East Algona. The tool and equipment specialist. Phone 395-RENT.
Style Salon. Your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong. Keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Signworks. For all your signage needs as well as printed shirts, caps, and jackets. Stop in or call 295-9544.
Sports Club members bringing you this game. More Sports Club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Kasuth Regional Health Center. Make KRHC your home for healthcare.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country. Highway 18 West.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush always beats a full house.
Runkey Brothers Full Service. Experience the Runkey Brothers difference for all of your auto service and repair needs.
Erpelding and Voigt CPAs. They're not just about taxes.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprise. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Hy-Vee. Use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fuel your car.
All sponsoring this broadcast on the radio.
As we come back here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, it is halftime between Bishop Garrigan and Janesville, and it was all Golden Bears in the first half in this season opener as Bishop Garrigan leads 28-0. I'm Tyler Lance, my partner is Beanie Bodie, and Beanie, I'll tell you what, the thing that stood out to me in the first half, Cal Berkey, and more Cal Berkey. 3 touchdown runs, a big interception, had a 4th touchdown run called back by penalty. Nobody can stop Cal Berkey tonight.
Yeah, was he impressive in that first half? Cal Berkey running the ball with authority, not only speed in the open field, but also just putting his shoulders down and fighting for extra yards. Very first drive of the game, you know, you need a first down to get some momentum, and Garrigan had a 3rd down situation, and it looked like Cal was going to get tackled at the line of scrimmage, and he just broke through the tackles, got the Garrigan first down, and you knew right from then that Garrigan was going to maybe have something special in Cal Berkey running the ball tonight.
No doubt about it. So Berkey having a big night so far to help give the Golden Bears the lead. The other touchdown besides Berkey was a pick 6 by Garrett Hine, one of 3 interceptions Bishop Garrigan had in the first half. Trayton Sink also picking up an interception for Bishop Garrigan, and then of course Hine and Berkey each with one as well. But Beanie, both teams seem to have a little trouble getting the passing game on track, and it hasn't quite mattered as much for Bishop Garrigan just because the running game has been so explosive tonight and the defense has forced turnovers. But boy, on the Janesville side of things, Eastman has just not been on target so far tonight. He's had 1 or 2, balls where he's been able to fit it into a tight window, but we've seen a few behind the receivers. We've seen a couple picks, and just they've been forced into obvious passing situations as well where Garrigan's just been able to tee off and get after the quarterback.
Yep, Janesville has had to pass the ball a lot more than they want to pass the ball, I'm sure. Eastman, clearly a capable player, good, solid young football player out there, but yeah, off target. He's had a couple nice passes where he's put it on the money. If he was having a more accurate game, it might be a different score right now. But I think they're being forced to pass the ball more due to situations like you mentioned, but also I think they're a little dinged up at the running back position over there, and that forced them even at the end of the half to try to move some players around, I think, into spots that they weren't used to playing at, and had some confusion there. So Janesville's now at the unfortunate task of trying to figure things out at halftime and coming out with something new, because what they had going first half was not working against the Garrigan defense.
And that's an important point you bring up as far as shuffling players around a little bit and finding out where everyone is supposed to go. We saw a couple early carries from the sophomore running back Dane Appleby, but unfortunately for Appleby, he did not return to the game. We don't know exactly what was wrong with him, but he did not have his helmet on the sideline. He was just standing there, and again, after a couple early carries, we didn't see him again. He was someone who ran for 170 yards last week, one of the most important players in Janesville's 56-0 Week 0 win, but without your top running back, that's one weapon off the table. Janesville, and Bishop Garrigan can focus more on Peyton Trees, who has had a nice game tonight, but now the defense has their eyes on him pretty much every play.
Right, they can key on him, and Garrigan's taking advantage of that. They've sent some blitzes from the defensive end at least once or twice I've seen, and the linebackers are really able to key on players that they know are going to get the ball. You know, Janesville, a very good team last year, a very successful season last year. They lost 10 seniors, but clearly a good program. They're obviously really loaded. Got a 56-0 win last week, but Garrigan has a lot of guys back, and obviously more people on the sidelines as we look at the field right now. You know, Garrigan's got 30 guys down there to Janesville's 20. And that changes things a lot. You know, Garrigan can, like we said, they've got a couple guys that only have to play one way, and keeps bodies fresh. I wonder, Tyler, if Coach Wadley is going to try to start cycling some more players in, up 28-0, or if he's still thinking, so early in the season, I need to use this like a full-speed practice, and if he keeps running those same starters deep into this game.
Well, that's a good question, because obviously this is one of the two non-district games Bishop Garrigan will play. They'll face Newell Fonda later this season as well, but starting next week, it'll get into those district games, and of course, finishing top 3 in the district is how you punch your ticket to the playoffs, as the Golden Bears will face North Iowa, but they'll have to focus on tonight first, and like you said, it'll be interesting to see how Coach Wadley treats the second half, and who exactly he wants to play and not play as we get set to head into the third quarter. Janesville's lining up on the field here to kick it off. Garrett Hying, the quarterback, taking his final warm-up tosses on the sidelines. And we'll see if Bishop Garrigan continues what was an extremely impressive first half, up 28-0 right now over Janesville. And Beanie, I'll tell you what, Bishop Garrigan last year, again, started the season 3-0. And I'll tell you what, this looks like a Garrigan team that could go on an early season run if they bring this kind of game every single week, and also in the second half of this one as well.
Yeah, you know, I have high hopes like I do at every opening season of any team that I like to follow, and got high hopes for the Bears here. I think they've got some talent out there. It's always just a matter of, can you position that talent to do great things?
So kickoff upcoming here for Janesville. It'll be Eastman getting set to boot the ball away. Eastman's ready as he runs up to it, and he will kick a line drive, angling towards the far side of the field. It rolls away from Grand Jeanette, but it'll stay in bounds, and Grand Jeanette has to field it at the 1. He's across the 5 to the middle of the field, 10. Avoids a tackle at the 15, stays on his feet to the 20, tiptoeing to the 25, and he falls forward to the 28. Lost the football at the last minute, but he got back on top of it. Grand Jeanette, with some slippery running, just kept evading the tackles and was able to pick up a good return for Bishop Garrigan.
Wow, not just a good return. I thought that could be nightmare field position when he went and picked that ball up way back at the pylon. It looked like it could be a situation where Garrigan's down inside the 10-yard line. But Jack Grand Jeanette does some nifty, elusive running, breaks out of a couple arm tackles, and gets decent field position here to open up the second half. Remember, Janesville did win the toss, and they chose to receive, thus getting Garrigan the ball to start the second half.
So Bishop Garrigan will have the football here at the 27-yard line. First down and 10, leading 28-0. It'll be give to Roffler right up the middle on the quick hitter. Roffler's got a nice run. He's across the 30. He's to the 40, and he gets all the way into Janesville territory. That was a gain of about 15 yards on first down for Caden Roffler.
Oh, nice run by Roffler. He deserved that one. He has been working hard this whole game, fighting for 2 yards, fighting for 3 yards. And that time, that quick hitter, I love that quick hitter play. The midline read is great, but it takes a lot longer to develop. That time, Roffler gets the ball, gets to the second level. Eastman, the best tackler out there, had a hard time bringing him down and was pretty frustrated after that play.
It'll be a handoff on first down, pinballing around and not really going anywhere that time is Cal Berkey for Bishop Garrigan, losing 2 yards on the play, one of the few negative runs we've seen tonight out of him.
Well, he did a good job of not fumbling that thing. He coughed it up. As soon as that ball hit his belly, it just bounced right out of there, and he had to snatch it out of the air and quick tuck it in. And now that's going to be a 2nd and 11. You know, since that play didn't work, might as well go right back to it. Janesville is really packing the box. They got 4 guys right in front of Drew Casey and Logan Nemmers.
Handoff coming, and it's a fake. Hine keeping it in, he's running to the outside. He's to the 30, steps out of a tackle to the 25, tiptoes the sidelines, and there goes Garrett Hine. He's to the 10, 5, touchdown. Welcome back to the end zone, Garrett Hine, his second TD of the night.
Oh,
but a flag is in the backfield. I missed it there, and this one is going to come back.
Oh, no, what a great run. It was a great fake. I had just said I'm trying to be a predictor here. They had the box packed. It was a perfect call by Coach Wadley in the offense. They had the defensive line packed in there to stop Roethler from gaining anything. Garrett Hine fakes it to Roethler, pulls it out, allegedly goes for the touchdown, but it's coming back as Garrigan is cheating on that play. They're going to walk it back 10 yards from the line of scrimmage because there is a hold, and Nate Bronk is having words with the officials, wants to know what exactly did he do wrong, because he just can't believe he's getting called for a penalty there. And his buddy Drew Casey saying, I've never seen an official pick up a flag and say, oh, you're right, young man. You did block correctly, but that penalty is going to stand, Nate, no matter how much you disagree, and it's going to be 2nd down and 25.
So 2nd down and 25, second time tonight. Bishop Garrigan has had a touchdown wiped off the board. So 2nd and about 26 make it from the 27-yard line. Boy, long way to go here for the Golden Bears with 10:44 on the clock and leading at 28-0.
Not to mention the quarterback is exhausted because he just ran 70 yards.
They'll have Hine come out underneath center this time. Roethler and Berkey right behind him. And it'll be a pass for Hine. He rolls right. Hine looks, and he's firing it down the field. He's got a man down there, and it's knocked away at the last minute. Great closing speed that time by number 6, Trevor Forey, and knocks it away.
Boy, he had the receiver number 5 out there wide open. That's Drew Lappy. And you heard all the coaches yelling at him to throw it, throw it, throw it. But Garrett was rolling out and had to get to a place where he could set his feet and deliver the ball. And by the time that happened, Forey, as you said, Tyler, good closing speed, had realized that Drew Lappy was wide open in God's green earth out there and hustled over and disrupted that play. That could have been another touchdown for Bishop Garrigan.
So 28-0, Bishop Garrigan, 3rd down and 24 from the 27-yard line. Hine back to throw on 3rd and a mile. He's got plenty of time, and he'll unleash it towards the right. Berkey's out there, and it's a little bit over his head. And back there in coverage was Eastman on the incompletion, setting up 4th and 24.
Well, assuming this is a punt here and Garrigan turns the ball over, that is going to be 2 touchdowns tonight called back for Bishop Garrigan. And that will be a burr in the saddle of any coach. But those saddles seem to get extra upset when they belong to Coach Wadley. He is not going to like that at all. And he is going to be upset with those linemen for getting those touchdowns called back.
So Drew Lappy will come in to punt it away on 4th and 24. Snap is good to Lappy. Runs up to the ball, kicks a line drive down the middle of the field. It bounces once in trees, backpedals to field it. He goes wide at the 20, looking for the sideline, and he is contained nicely that time. Stopped at the 24 by Benji Traynor.
Nice job, Benji Traynor, on that open field tackle. Those are tough. You know, that was a very long play. From the time that Drew Lappy put foot to ball, that play rolled on for about 20 seconds, and get nervous when those plays are long that there's going to be more penalties called, as it's been such a clean game so far, not nary a penalty in the first half. Second half getting a little sloppier out there. You want to clean that up. Don't put the officials in charge of doing anything. Drew Lappy put pretty good foot on that ball. He has taken over punting duties that have been done by Jacob Lear for a long time. Jacob Lear has been kicking the ball for Bishop Garrigan for, I think, 3 years. And someone had to step up and fill that spot, and Drew Lappy's the man.
So Bishop Garrigan leading Janesville 28-0 as Janesville will take over. Eastman trying to run it himself. He's across the 25, and he is tripped up by Justin Bauer. Bauer went low and sent Eastman tumbling head over heels after a 3-yard gain.
Oh, I think Janesville now is saying, well, Eastman, you're healthy. You're a great player. You're going to have to do something for us. Appleby looks like he's not going to get the ball much anymore. I think he's dinged up. And Peyton Trees is a versatile player, and he's working a spot in the backfield as well as receiver, and Garrigan is just keen on him. Wherever he goes, Trayton Sink has eyeballs on him.
9:46 on the clock, 2nd down and 7 after the run by Eastman. Eastman has 1 running back on each hip, 1 lone receiver out to the right. Snap is low as Eastman takes it, puts it into the belly of Pletz. Pletz running right up the line of scrimmage, and he is tripped up. Keaton Helliseth in there for Bishop Garrigan after a gain of 1, setting up 3rd and 6.
Well, as long as the Garrigan's defensive line keeps holding their own, and you've got Trayton Sink keying on Pletz wherever he goes, and whoever the runner is, this is a pretty good defensive situation for Garrigan. I don't see Janesville able to do much because I think Janesville was really reliant on Eastman breaking free for a lot of runs, but the Garrigan defensive line has been doing a great job containing him.
3rd down and 6 to go as we tick under 9 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Eastman from the gun. Quick fire out to the right to Trees. Makes the catch. Trees looking for the sticks. Dives forward and he gets to the 35-yard line and has just enough for the 1st down. Peyton Trees continues a productive night for Janesville.
Yeah, he does. Trees is a good player. He's got a great connection with his quarterback, Eastman. Eastman's going over to the coach right now, just kind of pick up the play, come back in. I really enjoyed that pregame interview with the Janesville coach. Said he's not much of a rah-rah guy, but he just wants to see development. He's okay with losses as long as they're progressing.
So 1st down and 10 from the Janesville 36-yard line. Eastman in the shotgun again, a place he's been in a lot so far tonight. Snap is low, but he fields it cleanly. He's looking to throw deep. Fires down the right sideline and going over the shoulder to try to make the catch is Trees, but he can't quite reach it. Almost made a great last-minute adjustment at the 15-yard line, but it fell out of his reach.
Well, he threw that ball a long ways. There's a little bit of a breeze coming up now later in the evening. Threw that one kind of in whatever breeze is out there. Good arm on Eastman here. He was facing pressure from Keaton Helliseth is back in the game, playing some nose guard. He came in for Nate Bronk earlier in the first half. Coach Wadley exercising some different positions, trying to keep people fresh. Justin Bauer in there playing cornerback, along with Trayton Sink.
And we have laundry flying everywhere on the 2nd down and 10 play, as we'll have a false start against Janesville. Haven't seen a ton of false starts so far tonight, but that'll back them up 5 yards to the 31. We're making that the 26-yard line, moving back from the 31.
Well, you can start to see some tired faces out there. I see Caden Rothler. I don't know the Garrigan defensive calls, but I think he was calling for a blitz there. He was begging Coach Patterson, just call this play, and I think that was the play where Caden Rothler gets the blitz into the backfield. He can feel it coming.
So we'll be at the 31-yard line, 2nd and 15 as we tick down towards 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Pletz just to the left of Eastman. Eastman sends a man in motion left to right. That's Britt. Handoff goes to Pletz, trying to run right for the middle. He's grabbed by the jersey, bounces off of one tackle, trying to be pushed forward. Got a push from his offensive lineman, Cole Hahn, that time, but Berkey was draped all over him, as well as several other Golden Bears helping make the tackle.
Yeah, Keaton Helliseth doing a good job at nose guard. Aiden Hovey's going to come in and play some right defensive end. Borman's been doing a good job all game. Hovey's going to get some experience now at defensive end, a position he played a lot last year. Yeah, Rothler was right. He wanted to blitz up the middle because he knew the ball was going there, and he was exactly right. It came right up the middle, right to him.
That's a good point. Hovey is one of the players who played 2 ways a lot last year, tight end and defensive end, but really getting to focus on tight end this year with the increased offensive line depth from Bishop Garrigan. And there's another false start here on 3rd down. Some movement early, and that'll make it 3rd down and 20 to go.
There might have been some flinching on the offensive line, but no referee is going to miss Peyton Trees, the wide receiver, just sprinting downfield. In fact, it even caught Trayton Sink off guard, who was guarding him. He kind of would stop and say, hey, man, your team did not start yet, but you did. And that's going to march him backwards. Just a little too many miscues by the Janesville team, making them backwards a few too many times. Now, with its 3rd and this long, will Coach Patterson, who's calling the defense, play it safe and drop all the defensive guys back, or is he going to go for the big play and send everyone and blitz big here and try to disrupt this backfield?
Fogarty and Hovey on the ends. Helliseth in the middle for Bishop Garrigan. 2 receivers on the right side of the formation for the Janesville offense. Trees moves in motion. Back to pass. And running out of time is Eastman. He's hit as he throws, and that one flutters incomplete at midfield. He got popped from behind that time by Aiden Hovey, and that disrupted the pass.
Well, that was a great job by Hovey. He came blitzing hard off the edge. He was getting blocked to the outside, and then he did a really professional-looking spin move where he just spun right around and crunched the quarterback right as he
delivered the ball. Nice nifty spin move by Aiden Hovey.
So punting time for Janesville with 6:36 on the clock. Cal Berkey and Jack Rangenet back to deep. Berkey on the near side, Grangenet far side as the punt comes towards the near side. Berkey fields it at the 24. He crosses the 30. He's to the 35, 40. Berkey looking for space along the sidelines. He's driving his way inside the 30-yard line and down to the 28. And quietly, a very good return that time for Cal Berkey. Never really got fully accelerated, but just kept finding space to maneuver.
Oh, you can feel that Cal, though, has that electricity that every time the ball goes to him, you can just kind of feel the crowd get a little buzz going, like, oh, something could happen here. And he did quietly get forward there. It looked like he could have gone down at the 35, and now he took it all the way to the other 35, 25. So Garrigan working with the short field. You know, it's been 28-0 for a long time, Tyler. I think if they don't score here and have it stand and not get called back, Coach Wadley's going to have some upset nerves going.
Well, Coach Wadley will want to see his team trying to get it to a running clock, too, to get up by 35. It's a pitch left to Berkey. Berkey cutting it back inside. He's to the 15-10. He's dragging a defender inside the 10-yard line, and he's down at the 8. He took Jack Lindemann for a ride that time, and Berkey continues his prolific night running the ball.
Boy, number 9 is looking sharp tonight. They're just trying to give him the ball. That is just a pitch sideways from Hying to Cal Berkey just to try to get him the ball out in space. And once again, it looked like he might get bottled up, but Cal is just finding seams. And he's not a huge running back, but he's strong, and he just powers through these little seams and finds the open space.
So first down and goal from the 8-yard line. Bishop Garrigan inside the red power red zone. Berkey in the slot to the right. Kolash wide right. And it's a give right up the middle to Roffler. He's powering forward. He's driving the legs as he's inside the 5-yard line all the way down to the 1. Caden Roffler just shy of the end zone that time.
Boy, number 20, Talon Pletz, playing the role of tackler there, tried to strip the ball out of Caden Roffler's arms, and Caden's too strong to do that. But it's a good heads-up job by Caden to realize that's happening. Keep both arms on that football. March the ball all the way downfield. You don't want to have it ruined just because a nifty defensive move of a player ripping the ball out of your arms.
Lappy is the lone receiver out to the right, Hying underneath center. It's a give right back to Roffler, and he walks right up the middle of the defense into the end zone for the touchdown. Caden Roffler joins the party for Bishop Garrigan, and the Golden Bears go up 34-0.
Nice run by Roffler, well-deserved touchdown. He's been running the ball hard all night. I'm glad he was able to punch one in on this 34-0 route that is on. Running the ball hard, and that was one of those plays where Janesville thought, boy, we haven't been able to, even when we stack the line, we can't hold this guy to less than 2 yards. And so when they give it to him at the 2, probably going to score.
So it'll be the 2-point conversion attempt from Bishop Garrigan, leading at 34-0. 3 players out to the right for the Golden Bears. Hying back to throw. Hying plenty of time, standing tall, fires on the slant. It's caught by Grangenet, and there's the 2-point conversion. Bishop Garrigan goes up 36-0 with 5:13 on the clock. As we'll take a quick timeout and have the kickoff coming up next on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass, for all your glass needs. Think American.
Farm Bureau financial agents Dave Beisch, Jason Brace, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realty, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, where community connects.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast.
As we come back on Home Country Radio, it is Bishop Garrigan 36 and Janesville nothing. Drew Lappy kicks it away. It's to the far side of the field, bouncing and dying inside the 10-yard line. It is picked up and returned by Britt. Britt down the far sideline, and he is tripped up by his ankles around the 25, where Janesville will begin the drive.
Defense taking the field. Keaton Helliseth come back in and play some nose guard. Drew Fogarty getting a good game there at the left defensive end. Cal Berkey's playing both ways tonight, defensive captaining this squad. Jack Grangenet in the game playing some cornerback. a position he played some last year, but he's playing mostly receiver so far today. And Caden Rothler still anchoring the linebacker role with his buddy on his left. Garrett Hying, who's also been playing both ways tonight. So far, Coach Wadley's still getting some players in there. Might work some more guys in here, and we will keep you tuned of who's on the field here as this 36-0 route is on.
Graham Jeanette, as you said, one of the players who played mostly offense tonight, getting a chance on defense as it's a run right up the middle by Pletz on the draw, but not much doing there as he's stuffed after about 2 yards, setting up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Berkey was the first one to hit him there, playing in that kind of outside linebacker spot.
So Bishop Garrigan will continue to try to pin the ears back on defense. They forced 3 turnovers so far tonight. Janesville trying to establish a little bit more of a run here and at least get some positive momentum in the 3rd quarter to try to put something on the board. It has been a lot of passing tonight and a lot of pressure on the quarterback Eastman. Eastman in the shotgun has 1 receiver to the right, 1 running back on each side of him, and he'll give it to Pletz again. Pletz is hit hard, and he is buried. Boy, nowhere to go that time as Drew Casey engulfed him right at the line of scrimmage to set up 3rd down.
Nice play, Drew Casey. This is Drew Casey's first series on defense. He's in there playing the nose guard right now.
And there you go. There's another example of Casey. Played 2 ways a lot last year. Bishop Garrigan didn't quite have the depth, but now they're letting him focus on the offensive line for the most part this year. And
and that makes guys hungry. If you like tackling people and you're not playing defense, when you get your chance, like Drew Casey's getting his chance to play defense, which he's done a lot before, boy, you really want to get in there and play hard. He's got Keaton Helleseff on his left playing defensive end, Caleb Borman at the right defensive end.
3rd down, 9 yards to go, with 3:10 on the clock. Back to throw, getting some pressure, fading away is Eastman, throws over the middle, and it's off the fingertips of Trees. Would have had the 1st down, but that was a tough throw to make, and it is now 4th down and 9.
That was good coverage by Benji Traynor. He just entered the game at linebacker for Garrett Hying. He made a good read, drop back in his zone, made the field smaller for Eastman to try to slot in the window. So we're getting those guys in here. These are all guys on the field now that have lots of experience in the past. So now we're talking about with that depth that Garrigan has this year. All these guys in on defense that haven't played yet tonight have played last year.
Eastman getting set to punt it away to Berkey. Gets the punt away despite the pressure of Borman. Berkey has to chase it all the way back to the goal line. It's bouncing towards the end zone. It'll stop right at the 1-yard line, and they touched it down. And it might have been touching that end zone line, and I think that's going to be a touchback. Oh, it sure is. That was inches away from being down inside the 1-yard line, inside the 1-inch line.
That was all dependent on how Stephanie Plath and the rest of the Plath family painted the lines, because that had to be touching some white grass somewhere, but the official threw the white chip down to mark that it was right at the 1-yard line, and I thought, oh, that had to touch a goal line somewhere. And Cal Berkey was debating, do I pick it up or not? And so now the referee thought it was down at the goal line, but now the other referee said, no, that was a touchback. It was touching a few blades of white grass there. That made all the difference in the world, because if that was going to be at the goal line, that would be as close to the goal line as any play could ever be.
It's been that kind of night for Janesville, just so close to perfection on that punt, but just a few inches away made all the difference as the ball's at the 15. Handoff to Rothler up the middle, and he bursts off 1 tackle. He's across the 20, out to the 24, and Rothler has 8 yards on 1st down.
Nice, powerful running by Rothler. That's the difference between Rothler and Berkey. Rothler's going to break through the line of scrimmage and just keep running people over and run right at them. And Berkey will try to elude that guy and bounce it outside. So that's a great 1-2 punch at running back for Garrigan this year. Powerful Rothler, a little more elusive quickness by Berkey. And they have other running backs as well that can come in the game, and we'll see them, I think, this quarter.
Yeah, Berkey not in the game right now as Sink gets the handoff, but Sink is hit hard in the backfield, and he is spun down. Knifing in there to make the play for Janesville was Jamin Reeves, and that'll lose a couple yards.
Well, good quick hitting play. Handoff smooth to Trayton Sink. Just nowhere to go. Good defense by Janesville. Really locked down that right side. Cal Berkey's over here on the sidelines, just getting stretched out by Fogarty over here on the sideline, I think, is stretching him.
He's been out this series, and it looks like they're stretching his calf, so that might be one of those dreaded cramps, which for the most part have been avoided so far tonight.
It's a nemesis for fast guys. Fast guys get cramps. Us slow guys just grind it out.
Handoff coming up the middle, and barreling forward for the first down is Sink. He needed 2, he got 3, and Bishop Garrigan moves the chains as we take down to the final seconds of this third quarter. Bishop Garrigan will not have to run a play as there's 5 seconds to go and running.
Here comes the T-shirt cannon. The cheerleaders are getting it out, so get ready to catch a T-shirt.
We'll prepare for the T-shirts, and Bishop Garrigan will prepare for the fourth quarter. Final few minutes of football coming up. Bishop Garrigan rolling over Janesville 36-0 here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass, for all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau financial agents Dave Beisch, Jason Brace, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realty, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, where community connects.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast. When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
Bishop Garrigan cruising through their season opener, leading 36-0 as Hine tries to throw on first down, but it's behind Aiden Hovey, trying to hit him on the slant, but a little bit off target on that one, and it sets up second down.
I knew that play was coming because Hovey came into the game so excited. I think he brought the play in. He knew it was a pass play coming to him, and you could just tell he was excited it was coming. And Garrett Hine is upset with himself because it was a good pattern, open receiver, and Garrett, you can tell he's thrown that pass so many times before, and he was just off the target there, and he wished he could have that one back.
Second down and 10. Hine has just been ever so slightly off tonight passing-wise, but Bishop Garrigan's been able to run it. And now here's a big gain for Sink. He's to the 40, going down the sideline 35, stays in bounds 30. He's to the 20, and he's tackled by Eastman down at the 24. Trayton Sink breaks his first big run of the night, and Bishop Garrigan moves into Janesville territory.
Oh, nice run by Trayton Sink, the only guy on the field that is happy that Cal Berkeley has cramps, because that got Cal out and Trayton in, and Trayton is looking good.
Bishop Garrigan knocking on the door of the red zone. They will set up here at the 24-yard line with 10:53 and taking on the clock. Again, running clock here in the fourth quarter of Bishop Garrigan up by 36 as the Golden Bears will run Cole Ash into the game. He'll be the receiver out to the right. Hovey, the tight end, is flexed out to the left as Hine will have Roffler standing right behind him. Hine takes the snap, steps back, clean pocket, fires to the outside and has Sink. Sink to the 20, he's to the 15, tries to cut it back inside, falls down to the 10-yard line, and Trayton Sink moves Bishop Garrigan into the red power red zone. Nice pitch and catch of Garrett Hine.
Yeah, Matt Colash is coming out right there, but he was the receiver on that side. They did a nice job after he ran his route. His route was just a decoy route, so Sink can get open coming out of the backfield. And he waited till the catch was made, and then he started blocking. Something that will never get noticed in any sort of stat book. But Matt Colash did a nice job on that play, and not picking up any penalties and doing the blocking.
It's a pitch to the left to Sink. Sink finding the edge. Sink waltzing into the end zone for a touchdown. Bishop Garrigan 42, Janesville nothing, as Trayton Sink has his first touchdown of the season.
A nice job, Trayton Sink. Good read. Bounced it outside just like he saw the first stringer Cal Berkey doing. And Garrigan continues to run away from Logan Nemmers, the big blocker on the right side. You know, Janesville just assumes they're going to run over on that right side, but Garrigan just fakes that way and cuts back left, and there's nobody there.
So Bishop Garrigan will try to tack on the two-point conversion of 42 seconds, or make that a 42-0 lead. 9 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, and everyone getting in on the action for the Golden Bears tonight.
It's been 3 touchdowns for Berkey. Roffler's had a touchdown. Hying had a defensive touchdown. And now Trayton Sink on the board as well. Grangenet to the left, Hovey to the right. Hying alone in the backfield. Hying takes the snap, and flags will fly in before the 2-point conversion.
Oh, and it looked like they had the draw set up. It looked like Garrett Hying was going to waltz into the end zone for a 2-point conversion, as it was well blocked. They had everyone thinking pass. Garrett was going to sneak right in there, and they're going to just make no bones about it. They've set up. They're just going to not even going to huddle. They're going to run the same play, even though Janesville surely knows it.
Ball's backed up 5 yards. Hying feeling pressure. He's running up the middle. Escapes one tackler. Lowers his shoulder. And he's into the end zone for a 2-point conversion. Slippery running by Garrett Hying, who almost got sacked on that play. But he makes it 44-0 Bishop Garrigan on a great 2-point conversion improvised play.
Yeah, that's something when the defense knows exactly what you're going to do, because you didn't even rehuddle, and they set up for the draw. Garrett runs the draw and is still able to score that 2 points. I tell you, Garrett's best plays tonight have been the 2-point conversions. He's done real well on these 2 points. He made a nice pass on the previous one where he found Grangenet on a perfect slant. And he's had 2 2-point conversions where he's run the ball very, very well.
And when you're down on the goal line for those 2-point conversions, I mean, it is such an asset to have a quarterback who's mobile, who can use his legs like that. It just opens up one more option in your playbook like that. You can have the empty backfield, 4 wide receivers out there, and just have your quarterback take it through the middle like Hying did. That is a huge, huge asset for Bishop Garrigan to have. And, you know, the 2-point conversions might be overlooked tonight because the score is 44-0, but there will be some games this season where the winners decided on who gets their 2-point conversions and who doesn't.
It's well, there will be some games decided by that. All right, Tyler, buckle up. This is my favorite part of any blowout. The freshman kickoff team is now in the game. Ethan Marceau is going to kick the ball. He's a future star for Garrigan. That guy can play some football. He's going to kick it with his size 14s. And everyone out there weighs less than 100 pounds.
Ethan Marceau with a short kickoff, and it's fielded at the 25 on the fly. Taking it down the sideline is Butler, and Butler crosses midfield. He gets down to the 38-yard line of Bishop Garrigan after that line drive kick from Marceau, and Janesville will take over here.
Nice job there by Kyle Borman, making that tackle on that position on the far side of the field. Good young freshman, good solid build. A lot of these young guys, of course, will get developed into good ball players in the future. Garrigan, Marty Wadley program does a nice job of developing players as they go from freshman to senior, but there's a lot of freshmen out there right now. Here's just a few. Owen Murphy, he's not a freshman, but he's over here on the near side at cornerback. Nick Toole, I believe, is out there.
Eastman still playing as he'll be back to throw. He'll unleash a deep ball down the sideline, and it's off the hands of Forey and incomplete. He grasps his helmet immediately as Forey just barely got past Drew Lappy that time. That was a perfect throw by Eastman, but went off the hands of Forey.
Yeah, it was Eastman's best throw on the day, even though it was going to go as an incompletion. That was a beautiful pass. Drew Lappy recovered at the last second to do something there. But, you know, this defense just came off the bench, and that was a wake-up call. Like, we got to get ready to go, boys. That's Isaac DeLang out there. He's making the defensive calls as the safety, making the defensive captain calls. Keaton Hellises on the line. He's been in the game there, so he knows what's coming.
2nd down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Eastman will hand it off. Trying to head for the middle is Pletz. He is wrapped up, though, as it's Ludwig in there on the tackle. Well, he's been a ball of energy on special teams so far tonight, and he comes up pumped up after that tackle.
Yeah, Brody Ludwig, he likes to get pumped up after he makes a play. It's always good to get a little pumped up. Then us broadcasters are sure it was you, because we can see your number nice and bold there. You got Benji Traynor out there playing linebacker, good solid junior linebacker for the Bears. Who else is that next to him? Number 22. Oh, that's Brody Ludwig.
Brody Ludwig, who just made the last tackle and set up a 3rd down and 10 as Eastman's back to throw. Clean pocket initially, and he'll take another deep shot. Down the right sideline looking for Trees. Reaches up and makes the catch. Oh, he posterized Owen Murphy that time. A fantastic grab by Trees, and he's inside the 5-yard line.
He did. Murphy was right there, step to step with him, but it was kind of a basketball. They both jumped up. Trees pushes off a little bit to Murphy to get a little separation so he can reach for the ball and makes the snare. All right, these guys got to keep Janesville out of the end zone to preserve the shutout, but they're knocking on the door at the 5-yard line.
1st down and goal. Bishop Garrigan leading 44-0 right here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ Algona. Janesville trying for that first score of the night as we're down to 6:45 in the fourth quarter. From the 5-yard line, and a whistle and a timeout taken by Coach Eastman for Janesville, and they will talk things over.
Well, we'll see what happens here, but I think Janesville was going to try to run that ball into the end zone, and Ethan Marceau is playing nose guard, and he was ready for it. And I think the coach maybe saw that and thought, you know what, we're going to score here. Let's call timeout. Let's make sure we design a play that's going to punch this in. And Garrigan had it clogged up the middle, and that wasn't going to go anywhere.
So teams huddled here in the timeout right now. Again, Bishop Garrigan leading 44-0. Golden Bears will start up the district play next week at the game against North Iowa. Janesville will try to bounce back against West Central, but you got to love it in the first game of the season, getting everyone involved. I mean, the players all work so hard in the offseason. It's not just the starters, but the freshmen and some of the players who are just coming in who normally might never see the field at a varsity game, but you kind of feel like your offseason work is paying off when you get in here at the end of a blowout.
You know, Garrigan, they look prepared. They're blowing up. Yeah, it's doing nice to bring the young guys in. And I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think Garrigan has had to use one timeout because of miscommunication or to prevent a delay of game. Like, it's been a very smooth game for these 3.5 quarters.
6:43 on the clock from the 5-yard line. It's Eastman. He's being chased left. He's being wrapped up, and he's dragged down in the backfield. Wyatt Rosenmeyer, the sophomore, read that play perfectly, and he was all over Eastman.
Yeah, Wyatt Rosenmeyer, nice play. Came from that left defensive end. No hesitation. Just hustled into the backfield. Made a great tackle there. Nice job, number 3.
So second down and goal. This will move it back to the 10-yard line after the 5-yard loss for Janesville as we take down to 6 minutes to go. Quick scoring update for those interested in our game on the sister station, Algona versus Emmitsburg. Right now, Algona has a 33-20 lead as Brian Wilson sending me those updates. It's a blitz. Eastman lobbing to the end zone, reaching out and unable to make the catch, just out of the grasp of Jaden Butler, and that'll set up third down and goal to go.
Oh, that was a good push, good pressure by the defensive line. Ethan Marceau just pushing that center backwards 5 yards, and that pocket was collapsed in a hurry. You got Ethan Marceau and Wyatt Rosenmeyer giving a good, strong push up front along with the other defensive end, Nick Toole, really putting some good pressure on Eastman, the varsity quarterback there.
Third down and 10 to go. Bishop Garrigan trying to turn back Janesville near the goal line. In the shotgun, Eastman, one running back on each side. Looking, firing over the middle, over the head of Trees and slightly behind. Trees shows some frustration because he thought he should have had that one, but it's now fourth down and goal.
He was. I think Trees was a surprise he was that open. He kind of looked around at the last second to see who was around him, to see if he might have to fight for the ball with someone, but he was all alone, and the ball just went right through his hands, just didn't get his hands up high enough.
So fourth down and goal, and I'll tell you what, these Bishop Garrigan reserves are really, really itching to make this stop.
They are pumped up out there.
Fourth down and 10. Eastman in the gun again. Eastman back to throw. Blitz coming up the middle. He'll have to unload it into the end zone. Floats it up, and it's caught by Trees, and he is in for the touchdown.
Oh, my
goodness. Trees just reached right over the top of Drew Lappy and picked it off his helmet. Trees is having some kind of night, and that'll put Janesville on the scoreboard.
Oh, wow. Drew Lappy rolled his ankle a little bit, I think. He's running out just fine, but both guys went up for that ball. Trees just made a fantastic catch. He let the touchdown go a second ago by missing it, and he made a much harder catch for that one. And Ethan Marceau and Brody Ludwig had burst through the line from their defensive positions and were just a split second away from a quarterback sack. So just like that, in a split second, you go from a quarterback sack to a touchdown.
Well, that is the second poster of the drive delivered by Trees. He's taken a couple victims here, and he is still playing very hard, even if the score 44-6, as Janesville will go for the 2-point conversion. 4:37 on the clock. Low snap. Eastman rolls right, lobbing it into the end zone, and that one will fall incomplete. Only Golden Bears in the area, as it'll stay 44-6 with 4:37 on the clock. Well, not the stop Bishop Garrigan wanted, but Trees, boy, those are a couple athletic plays made there by the wide receiver.
Well, those reserves made it close. They had a good battle out there and got beat in the end, but they fought hard for that drive. They got to be in there. They may get another chance to get back in there. Garrigan's going to get the ball back here with 4.5 minutes left to go with a running clock. And Marty Wadley will, for all intents and purposes, just going to try to run the clock out here. But
if they don't pick up a first down, then Janesville might get the ball back on offense again. So right now, Garrigan is trying to figure out who's going to play offensively. Coach Grant Busherfield, one of the assistants out there, is saying, hey, where's my guy? Get over here, Rosemeyer. And he's showing everybody who's where on this kick receive, which they have not done yet today. I don't know. They have not done kick receive yet today from a kickoff. Oh, no, to start the second half. To start the second half, this kick receive is out here. But these are the young guys. These are the young guys kick receive. Coaches are trying to tell everyone where to be positioned. There hasn't been any JV games left, so this is the first football these young guys have played this year until their JV schedule starts.
Isaac DeLang, the deep man for Bishop Garrigan, and they'll kick it to him. DeLang has to race backwards, and it sails over his head at the 5, and it bounds into the end zone for a touchback. I'll tell you what, we have been following the saga of the T-shirt cannon all night long, and you heard some groaning from the crowd in the background. One of the cheerleaders misfired on the T-shirt cannon. The T-shirt just popped out and fell straight down, so I think some more practice reps are needed from the Bishop Garrigan cheerleaders.
Yes, we're going to have a T-shirt cannon practice. There's been an assortment of problems. Several of them have been launched entirely over the stadium, over the press box and everything. Some of them have gone a mile high and come down at a terminal velocity. That's dangerous. So this T-shirt cannon is great. It's a lot of fun. Always adding some new fun to the Conway Field here, Bishop Garrigan.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were trying to scramble out the back window of the press box and rappel down the side, but the T-shirts going over the box would explain that as the backups are in. The quarterback right now is Drew Mahler, and he'll hand it off on first down to Ethan Marceau, who will gain maybe 1 yard running to the right side.
Tyler, I am the parent of high schoolers. That means I've spent half my salary on T-shirts. If there's a free T-shirt available, rappelling down the stadium to get a free T-shirt is nothing to make up for some of that money I've spent on T-shirts over the years.
Yes, I'm sure my parents can relate as well. The Lance parents will tell you that I have drawers and drawers chock full of T-shirts from over the years that I can't get rid of, and I will jump at the opportunity to get a free one as Bishop Garrigan will have 3rd and 8 coming up.
Before you jump, take all your old T-shirts from yesteryear, knit them into a parachute, and then jump and try to get yourself another T-shirt. These kids out there, run into the game. Ezekiel Elbert, he's running in the play. It's always a trick for these young guys. Let's see if we get you some numbers here of who's in the game at this point. You've got Drew Muller at quarterback, of course. A good, steady backup quarterback for Garrigan.
And Muller will hand it off, and that play is going nowhere. Tried to give it to the left side as, I believe it was Marceau again. Marceau getting the carry and losing a yard. Or it might have been Owen Murphy, 10 and 11 there on the roster.
Yeah, hard to see those crumpled up jerseys. These guys got to get bigger so it stretches their numbers out so we can read them. But they're so tiny, their jerseys are all wrinkled. But we've got Caden Graves is in there snapping the football to Drew Muller on his left, on the left guard side. That looks like Carter Schwab, the 200-pound freshman, is in there. Eric Lansing is on the other guard spot. Loves that game of football. Eric Lansing's doing the right guard duties right now. And the clock is ticking down to 2:48 here. Marceau's in there as well. And Wyatt Rosemeyer rounding out that lineup for the Bears in their backup offense.
Well, Bishop Garrigan will call a timeout with 2:47 on the clock as they'll get set to punt it away on 4th down and 8. And Janesville will have one more drive here of 2:47 left as they try to regroup and get some momentum to take into next week. And I'll tell you what, we have the Erpeling and Voigt player of the game coming up after this one. I'm not going to give you too much of a hint to who I'm thinking, but I think there's some good evidence. There's a couple candidates here tonight from the starting lineup for Bishop Garrigan.
Well, it's so obvious, Tyler, that I think I'll be halfway home before you get around to finishing all the things that kid has done in this game today.
I think you may be right, as Bishop Garrigan will come out of the timeout here. Line of scrimmage is the 17-yard line as they'll get set to punt it away. Daniel Britt, the sophomore, is the deep man to return for Janesville.
There are some Garrigan players out there that are not listed in my program right here. That's
Punting it away is Carter Schwab. It bounces inside the 40. It takes a Garrigan roll down to the 30, and it's touched. Garrigan dives on top of it. They think Janesville touched that ball, and we'll see what the call is here. And it is back to Bishop Garrigan. Or is it? It is.
Yeah, it is back to Bishop Garrigan. There was a touch there. Now, I thought maybe it went – I thought the touching order went – it looked like it went Garrigan, Janesville, Garrigan, but no one's going to argue it for Janesville. They're going to say, all right, whatever, give Garrigan the ball back here. Let's see if Drew Muller is given any rope here to play with. by Coach Wadley. As Drew Muller counting everyone to make sure, and he says, we need one more guy, please. He counted helmets and said, we're a helmet short of a full 8-man roster. So here it comes into the game. Thad Kolash coming in and telling Drew, I'm your 8th guy, and I've got to play. And I think that play is probably going to be a handoff to Owen Murphy, tailback. Ethan Marceau is at fullback.
2 minutes to go in this one. Running clock as Bishop Garrigan will have the last few plays of the night. Handoff coming to Murphy. Murphy trying the left side. He is grabbed by the ankles, and he is wrestled down. That was Blake Porter who was in there initially to grab him and hold him up long enough for the reserves to arrive.
That clock will continue to click. 1:40 and counting. Play coming in from the sideline. It's probably going to be a lot similar to the previous play as a big, tall number 87 coming in the game.
I believe that's Nick Lear coming in. He's not listed on the program there, but Nick Lear is a big, tall 87 that I believe is coming in from Garrigan here for 2nd and 10. As the handoff goes to Murphy. Murphy running right in. He has space. He's to the 25-20. Down the sideline, and there goes Owen Murphy. He's into the end zone, and that is the exclamation point for Bishop Garrigan. Owen Murphy, the first rushing touchdown of his career. A sophomore, making it 50-6.
Nice play, running right, untouched around the end. Easy score for Owen Murphy. Looking fast out there on a day where the tailbacks are having a lot of fun for the Bishop Garrigan offense. A big 5-0 on the board. Looks good.
Well, some of the reserves have had some moments that they'll treasure throughout the season here for Bishop Garrigan. You're not going to win 50-6 every night. There will be a lot of close games for Bishop Garrigan, but they have gotten everyone involved tonight as Mahler rolls right on the 2-point conversion. He fires, it is caught, and there's a 2-point conversion as Marceau brings it in, and Bishop Garrigan goes up 52-6 after the muffed punt, and a couple of plays later, Golden Bears paid off with a touchdown to Murphy.
Nice throw on the 2-point conversion on the run by Drew Muller. Hard to throw that ball when you're on the move, but he gets that arm back, slings it in there to Marceau, who is going to do the kicking duties as he grabs the tee after scoring the 2-point conversion. Ready to kick it off again. They're getting some good minutes in here, these reserves. They're going to be practice for their JV game whenever that. I believe they play the JV games on Monday night here at Bishop Garrigan in the conference. So they will have a game here coming up, I think, on Monday. And so this is to get some good repetitions in for them, get the jitters out, so when they play on Monday, they'll be ready to go. Now, kickoff team ready to roll. I see Kyle Borman over there as the what they call the kill guy, the tackler over there on the far side. He made the tackle last time out.
And it's a short kickoff down inside the 25-yard line where it's taken. It's Opperman, Blake Opperman across the 30-yard line out to about the 32. So Parker Opperman gets the return, and with 1:03 left and ticking, Janesville will have one last possession.
That was a nice job there. Isaac DeLang first to the contact. Rosemeyer with Wyatt. Wyatt Rosemeyer cleans it up. Good job on the kick cover. And boy, Tyler, it was 28-0 for the better part of this game. After a fast start, Garrigan had a couple touchdowns called back, but after that, boy, they put on the hurt here in the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, tacking on a few more scores.
Yeah, score kind of got stuck there a little bit towards the middle of the game as the timeout's called by Janesville here, so they'll get all the reserves on for the final 36 seconds of the game. Boy, you've got to like the way you've closed the game for Bishop Garrigan. Obviously, I know it's not the starters, but, I mean, being able to run the ball, pick up these huge chunk plays, even late in the game when everyone knows you're going to run it is a great sign.
Yeah, that is a good sign. And I think Garrigan is now able, they think they've gotten everybody in right now. I think Grant Busherfield and Brian Patterson, assistant coaches, are trying to see who didn't get in. I see they got Connor Kramer in there, number 66. The freshman's going to get a few seconds here. Lear's in the game. They've got Noah Birdie in the game. Or no, that's Nick Toole. There's two number 21. Sorry, that's Nick Toole. But is that a number 21? Thad Kolash is in there playing cornerback. Number 88 is unlisted here, but let me see if I can figure it out. I recognize most of these
we've got
kids.
Carter McGregor, number 8 on there as well for Bishop Garrigan. I'll tell you what, the people watching at home may not appreciate this as much, but it is hard to pick up those numbers on the side. I'm amazed you picked up as many as you did. as it'll be 1st down and 10. Handoff coming here for Janesville. Banging his way inside is Taylor Kibbe, and that'll likely be the last play of the night as we tick down to 27 seconds.
That is Zeke Elbert was over there playing cornerback on the far side, and Noah Birdie's going to come in for him. And I think that makes it a successful every kid into the game for Bishop Garrigan. And that's the unique thing about a small school. It may seem like as adults we're a long ways away from it, but just to get into a high school football game is a memory for a kid. And, they're making memories out there into a high school varsity football game. And that's something to be proud
Dawson
of.
Graham will want to run more play. It's an option pitch to the outside, and Lear wrestles down Daniel Britt. Lear was not fooled by the option, and that'll bring an end to this one. Bishop Garrigan with a full-scale domination, winning it 52-6 over Janesville, starting the season off with a resounding victory in year number 2 of 8-man football. Like you said, everyone getting in there. Nick Lear making a great read on the last play, and Bishop Garrigan with a well-rounded win, to say the least, tonight.
Yeah, they looked sharp. They looked prepared. So many times you see a team come into the season and they look rough, lots of penalties, things don't look very smooth. And I thought it might be the case for Bishop Garrigan tonight, especially against a Janesville team who's already played a game. But credit to the coaching staff for getting these guys prepared over the last 2 weeks. Everyone only has 2 weeks to get ready for the games, and the coaches did a really nice job getting these kids ready, play a good, solid football game. And as always, one of the nicest things to see in high school sports is after pounding on each other for the better part of 2 hours, these young men go through the line, and you see a lot of smiling faces and shaking hands and some bro hugs of a battle on the gridiron, fought, ended, over, and won by the Bears this time around.
So Bishop Garrigan takes a 52-6 victory to improve to 1-0 on the season and started off with a win. Well, we will take a quick timeout, and we will let you know of our Erpelding and Voigt player of the game next, as well as other post-game coverage coming up on Home Country Radio, KLGZ.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Iowa. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Iowa High School Athletic Association and the Iowa High School Athletic Directors Association.
Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs has a simple philosophy about the way they approach their business. Put people before the numbers. Before they can help you plan for a better financial future, they must have a thorough understanding of where you've been and where you want to go. They listen, then ask the important questions to build long-lasting relationships with their clients. They promise to know you and help you. Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs. They're more than just taxes.
Final score tonight, Bishop Garrigan 52, Janesville 6. I'm Tyler Lance, my partner's Beanie Bodie, as we wrap it up for tonight. And of course, at the end of every game, we select a Golden Bear to be our Erpelding and Voigt player of the game. They will receive a certificate from Erpelding and Voigt and KLGA, recognizing them for their play in tonight's game. The Player of the Game award brought to you by Erpelding and Voigt in Algona. Beanie, we hinted at it. There's only one choice for tonight's game, and that is Cal Berkey. 3 touchdowns on the ground, an interception, bringing all that senior leadership to the team. He is a slam dunk choice here in week 1.
Yeah, what a great game by Cal, and thank goodness, because you would hate to be saying the opposite, that you had high expectations for Cal and he didn't meet them coming in senior. Boy, he met all expectations. He works hard in the offseason. He's got experience from yesteryears, and he came and looked sharp tonight right from the beginning. Defensive captain, making the signal calls, communicating with the coaches, just looked head and shoulders above the other running backs on the field for both teams. with his quickness, his ability to move laterally and then break up field fast. Just good all-around game by Cal, both on offense and let's not forget defense, making some good tackles, coming up and boy, he hits the hard. He hits the whole hard on offense, and he hits hard defensively. We talked in the pregame. All we talked about all week in your interviews with coaches is being physical, and Cal Berkey certainly brought some physical violence to the game tonight. No one wanted to tackle him out there, and Coach Wadley's got to be proud of a senior that he's been watching grow and develop into a player since he's been a young kid coming up through the Bishop Garrigan program. And as we said, Cal's dad is the strength and conditioning coach and just a coach on the football team. And couldn't be more happy for Cal. I hope he continues to have a wonderful season, but a great start tonight for the athlete of the game.
So Cal Berkey, player of the game from Erpelding and Boyd. Well, one of the things that really impressed me tonight about Bishop Garrigan, again, the explosive plays in the running game. And, last season it seemed there was a lot of 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And, again, we say time and time again, Garrett Hine was out, opposing teams are stacking the box, that kind of thing. But it really seemed last year that Bishop Garrigan struggled to generate those explosive plays. But, man, tonight it wasn't just those big touchdown runs by Berkey either. I mean, Roffler ripped off a couple 10-yard runs. Late in the game, you saw that touchdown run by Murphy that I think went for 15 or 20 yards, but it was just chunk plays on the ground all night long. A fantastic sign for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, last year it seemed like the Garrigan offensive players had a hard time getting any separation in the open field, so they might break, like you said, a cloud of dust might turn into 10 or maybe 15 yards for a big play, but they never seemed to generate any big open field runs, which we kind of expected in 8-man football. They put a lot of effort into getting faster in the offseason, worked really hard on speed training drills, and maybe that's what we're seeing tonight. We're seeing the appreciation of that intense focus on speed because they looked faster in the open field once they got there tonight. Cal ran away from players and maintained that speed all the way to the end zone. So we'll see if that was off-season, and we'll see if it continues. Coach Wadley on the inside baseball take, he doesn't think they're going to be world beaters, but he thinks they're going to be a good team. Every coach wants to think that every year, but you have to play the whole season out, and like he always says, you have to stay healthy. But I thought they looked really sharp tonight. I think it's one of the sharper Bishop Garrigan opening games that I've seen in the many years I've been watching this game.
It really was. week 1 of the season did not see a whole lot of penalties from Bishop Garrigan. Did not see the Golden Bears turn the ball over. They won the turnover battle pretty definitively 4-0. And just, like we said, a few interceptions on defense, dominant running game, using that size advantage over Janesville. So just all in all, really not a whole lot to complain about in week 1. It's not always going to be sunshine and roses every single game. But, Coach Wadley might have to stretch a little bit this week to try to find something to complain about. Maybe the only thing is that Bishop Garrigan had 2 touchdown runs called back by penalties. So that would probably be the only thing that immediately jumps to mind. But man, it was, like you said, clean game from the Golden Bears.
Yeah, and the fans around there, they're happy. There's a big mob down there. They just escorted the players off the field. Good night all around. The band was great. The 30 members strong, but they sound like they have 90. And I'm always happy to see that a lot of those players marching at halftime are also cheerleaders. And there was 7 football players out there as well, marching with their football pads on the sidelines. It's a great environment here tonight. I love the beginning games of the season because the weather's nice and it's so beautiful to sit here in shorts and a short sleeve shirt, and crowd has a great time. They had a meal before the game that everyone was enjoying. Just a really beautiful night here on a small town Friday night football night. And even if the losing team, like the Janesville coach said, hey, you're not going to win them all, and if they lose some, we just want to get better. They're down there, they're on the field, and they've got their season in front of them. They made a long trip over here, so thanks to the Janesville crowd making that long trek back, and thanks for them coming over here and play this football game. I know it didn't turn out as they wanted, but I know they underwent a few injuries earlier in this game, I think, and they're having a long conversation out there. You could tell in your interview with the coach, he's a passionate coach, and he cares a lot about his team, just like Coach Wadley does here with the Bishop Garrigan program. So 2 good small school football teams here tonight.
No doubt about it. And like you said, Janesville, it was kind of a last-minute scheduling change. Both teams had an open date after Bishop Garrigan's initial opponent, Rockford, had their program dropped just due to not enough people coming out. So we're happy this game came together. Obviously, Bishop Garrigan fans are certainly happy with the 52-6 final. And like Janesville's coach Eastman said, he'll accept losses, but he wants his team to grow from it. So that is what Janesville will try to do following tonight's game. So Golden Bears are 1-0. They will travel to Buffalo Center next week to face the North Iowa Bison. Janesville, as we mentioned, will face West Central coming up next week. That is it for tonight. For my partner, Beanie Bodie, I am Tyler Lance, signing off here on Home Country Radio, as this has been a Home Country Radio sports production. Final score, Bishop Garrigan 52 and Janesville 6.